Oh,
we back. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, XJ is here with me for this post. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Post beatdown celebration. And it's fitting that you're here because I think you and me are amongst the KFS faculty. I want to say we're the kind of the geekiest. We're the numbers guys.
That's true.
Well, listen, the data says this. Ignore the data at your own peril. Well, you know what the data said tonight, XJ?
What'd it say? What'd it say, J-Mac?
I don't know. Nobody knows because the MSG crowd was so fucking loud that it drowned it out. The data is deaf.
It's out the window. Why is every time I come on one of these post games, the data is irrelevant to the conversation? But it's appropriate. I love it. I'll take it.
A 20-point win. The first 20-point loss of the Cavaliers season. I had cited this stat a few times, but they had gotten basically whatever metric you want to use. They had gotten blown out less than any other team in the NBA this year. And this was their biggest loss of the year. This was I don't think I misheard Mike Breen when he said no team in the NBA this year had scored under 80 points in a game. I'm fairly certain that's what Breen said. Andrew, if I misheard, correct me.
I need that stat verified. That's insane if that's true. If that's true.
I'm
Hold
sure.
on. I was busy chanting for Derrick Rose. What was the stat that I need to verify?
Derrick Rose or Daquan Jeffries?
Both of them.
Did Mike Breen say this is the first game season?
First time all season a team was held under 80 points.
Okay.
And it was those bumps from Cleveland. This is for you.
Cleveland does not rock. So listen, we have a lot to get to. I want to try to look. It's a night to be over the top exuberant, and I am over the top exuberant. At the same time, there was a lot to process with this one, and also
a lot.
It's just too. See, Andrew, I think, would want me to literally jump out the window because at least that would be me jumping out of a window. I still can't do it. Although I think.
Okay, then hold on before we get to the very serious, very appropriate,
please.
Rational post game. Okay, because I figured the two geeks, as you called it, your words, not mine, would not be up for the tasks of matching the hype. So what we're going to do instead is make this a full party of propaganda. Mensa, talk your shit. We got an RJ Barrett game tonight.
Hold on.
Game.
I want to give him the runway. I want to give him the runway here. I want to set it up. Appropriately. Because this game, listen, we're going to praise Jalen Brunson, but this, with all due respect to Jalen Brunson, who's been doing this all year, this game is about two things. This game is about a crowd and a fan base that is unrivaled in the world, and I've said that on this podcast for years, and it's true. And you saw it tonight, and they were part of the MVP. The other half of the MVP award goes to a guy that, and again, this is what I was getting to. If you are a numbers guy, you can't ignore. I mean, if you're a numbers guy, you can't pick and choose when you listen to the numbers, when you ignore the numbers. And I've been all about the numbers for RJ Barrett. I've been all about the data. I've been all about this is what it points to, what this player is. And the people like Mensa will push back and they will say, there is something about this kid I believe in. I understand where you are coming from. But be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful throwing this guy out because there's something about him. And with that, Mensa, I turn the floor to you.
Give me Crowan.
Oh, wait, I'm going to get him out. I'm going to get him out. He's going to be the co-host of this.
I know all about, the be careful, and we got to respect these Cleveland Cavaliers, and we can't win this game if RJ Barrett plays X amount of minutes. But what I just saw, I don't know about anybody else here. I just saw the New York Knicks win their first home playoff game of the season because of RJ Barrett.
Let's go.
Julius Randle went out there and shot tour dates tonight. Shout out to Leon Rose for putting together a team that can carry Julius Randle when he decides he wants to shoot tour dates. RJ Barrett, first shot that went down was that three-pointer. Oh my goodness.
Biggest shot of the season.
From there, I was like, okay, they thought it was going to be sweet. They thought that Darius Garland of Vanderbilt University was going to do something. They thought that Evan Mobley and all those boys that came out of great Division I football programs, they were not ready for the environment tonight. But you know who was? Blue blood R.J. Barrett. Blue blood. He was ready for the moment. He was calm. And my favorite part about tonight, not anything that he did on the court, but when they gave him the post-game interview, he looked so unsatisfied. And you know what? I need that because Stephen A. Smith went out there on national television and said that you need to be on the bench. Everybody who pays attention to numbers was like, you need to be on the bench. I was in favor of, look, if this guy is not playing well, we need to give him the hook. But tonight, we do not win this game without RJ Barrett. It was huge. It was a huge moment for him. It was a huge moment for everybody who believed in him. And it wasn't that big a moment for all of his haters. But that's not the point. I just want to shout out. I love what RJ Barrett did, but I want to shout out Leon Rose because strength in numbers is real for this team. We have 9 guys. All 9 guys matter. And you don't know when Julius Randle's not going to play. You don't know if he's going to play bad. You don't know if Jalen Brunson's going to have an off night, and he's had some off nights. Everybody on this team matters, including the worst player in the rotation so far this season, RJ Barrett. He mattered the most tonight. And if those Cleveland Cavaliers put up a fight, RJ Barrett might have hit that 25-point prop for what was plus 1,000. The disrespect is real from everywhere. Vegas is disrespecting him. He's getting disrespected by Cleveland. He's getting disrespected in his own building. But you know what he does? He shows up on game 3. He shows up game 3. When we needed that win, we could not go down 1-2. We needed a win. Julius didn't show up. It took Jalen Brunson a minute to roll around, but R.J. Barrett.
Talk your shit.
Mensa, I'm going to
talk your shit.
8 rebounds, 3 assists, making the right decision.
Well, wait, hold on. The reason why this was the best, and there's no conversation. I know he scored 40 in some games. There's no conversation. This is the best game of RJ Barrett's career. It's obviously not close. It's the most important game of his career. And I actually, even in those games, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mensa, because I know you know the stats. When he scored a lot in those different games, his assist totals are usually not there. Tonight, I would argue for as good as his scoring was, and God knows the scoring in the first half, especially in the first quarter, when they were nobody could hit the far side of a barn, was necessary. The fact that he continued to make the right pass, he never didn't make the right pass. There was always the pass that if the pass was there, he made it every single time. And I don't care how many it doesn't matter how many assists he ended up with. He ended up with 3 assists. It's neither here nor there, because there were several really, really good looks that were generated either directly off of his passes or off of passes that came off of his passes. Made the correct play every time. Best game of his career, bar none. I don't know what else to say.
I just want to quickly shout out RJ Barrett's coaches, because that to me looked like growth from RJ Barrett. It came in the 85th game of the season. So like the other 84, you're like, where was that? But it felt like he finally understood that if he doesn't have it at the rim, he doesn't have to turn around and shoot that baby jumper, which you very accurately called out. He shoots like 37% from that range or something embarrassing.
It was under, it's under 40%. Yeah.
An embarrassing rate. Right. And instead of making those, instead of taking those shots, he kept kicking it out and giving the Knicks a second chance, which is more important. Like if you don't have the first opportunity, we have 24 seconds in the shot clock. We don't have to always take the next shot. And I felt like he understood. To me tonight, it looked like RJ Barrett understood his limitations for the first time in his career. And that is the major, that's the major hump for him to get over. Understand who you are, do what you need to do what you're good at, and the Knicks will benefit. If Julius, look, like for real, like if the Knicks could shoot tonight, this game would have been over in the third quarter.
Yep.
Would have.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We'll get to that in a minute. So Mensa, we're here because we're the hype machine, okay?
And forget the analysis. RJ Barrett.
Mensa, I love it.
RJ Barrett, let's go.
How many we gonna win, Mensa? And how many? How many?
5.
Knicks in 5.
Is that 5?
Is that still live? Knicks in 5.
Even what? The lemon pepper Cavaliers?
It is live.
It might be
the
real.
Sweet Baby Ray Cavaliers?
Yes.
The teriyaki chicken Cavaliers?
They ain't ready for the big stage, Mensa.
Come on now.
Mensa,
what we
I
worried
want
about?
you.
These flyover states. What are we worried about?
There are no worries. I'm not worried about no goddamn Cleveland Cavaliers.
Let's go.
Look, all of you guys can do all the worrying for me, and I thank you. Thank you for doing all the worrying for me, because as for me, I shall not worry.
I've been doing the worrying for you, Mensa.
Yeah, but no, me and you
All
both XJ. Mensa, you need to go and find a Tony Soprano sized cigar and light that sucker up, because seriously,
I'll take the Derrick Rose cigar.
I was gonna say, how about you just smoke on the Cleveland pack tonight?
There it is.
There you go.
All right.
I
love
thank
it.
you, Mensa.
Thank you, Mensa.
so much.
You're the man. We needed that energy. Okay, now I'm appropriate.
Now you guys have
tone
a
has been
very
set.
rational podcast. If you
All right,
Now
deep
we're
talk
gonna get
now.
a little bit more rational.
Wow.
Actually,
Wow.
that was really special.
That was awesome.
No, but like, just RJ. It's funny because the thing that I've been most critical of for him, right, is exactly what Mensa said, which is not understanding his limitations, and I think that is why that's why spreadsheets don't play the games, because at a certain point, unless you're LeBron James or a handful of players, you need in the NBA to challenge your limitations by trying to do the things that you don't do well. So the fact that RJ throughout his career has not cowered in the face of his own poor statistics, it has been very frustrating to those of us who have been critical of him. And at the same time, you could argue that is a necessary component to eventually getting to your fulfilling your destiny as a pro. And I think tonight we saw him put it all together.
Absolutely. I mean, as a numbers guy, as a data guy, like, I don't leave a ton of room for these kind of just, you couldn't expect it, you couldn't see it coming. A guy puts it all together. For some reason, game 3 of the opening round of the playoffs in the Garden, just, making honestly, your takeaway was my biggest takeaway. The passing, the penetration, and just making a simple pass. It's like, that feels so simple, so obvious, but he hasn't done it. And tonight, he just did it every single time, consistently. He gets in the paint.
There wasn't a bad shot.
No
in
bad
his
shots.
repertoire.
No bad shot. He gets in the paint. He makes the simple pass to the open guy. The ball finds energy. We get a good shot every time out of it. Even if we miss, RJ was flawless in that way. And I couldn't see it coming.
No, but look, in fairness, I'll give us a slight in fairness to us. You couldn't see it coming because the last 2 games, because of the season, he's just a very inconsistent player. But something I think we probably could have seen coming, smooth transition there. Jalen Brunson. It's funny. Game 1 seems like a million years ago, but he did have a great game 1 against this Cavalier team, which was a game after he had 48 points against this Cavalier team. So it is amazing that after game 2, I'm not saying I wasn't down on Jalen Brunson. Anyone who I talked to about my feelings going forward in the series after game 2, I said, I have faith in Jalen Brunson. I have faith that Jalen Brunson will figure it out. And yet when you see him, and this is again why it's so appropriate that you're on, like the NBA has all but eradicated the shots that Jalen Brunson has made a living off of. These are terrible shots. Don't take these shots. We don't want you to take these shots. Take literally any of the other shots. And yet he has mastered that specific area of the court. It is an area of the court that, in addition to his passing, has made Chris Paul, one of the, whatever you think Chris Paul is, 25 to 30 greatest players to ever live. And I think Jalen Brunson, while not the passer that Chris Paul is, I do think he is every bit his equal as far as a shot maker from that area. And we saw that tonight. And for as much as RJ got them out of the gate, Jalen Brunson kind of brought them home.
Jalen Brunson is one of the absolute top elite ISO scorers in the game of basketball currently. And it's just, it's easy to gloss that over. Because
not hyperbole,
size,
by the way.
Not again, hyperbole.
Again, you want to go lean on the numbers?
Everything I'm going to say is going to be data supported, and I can bring them up. Absolutely, an elite ISO scorer at any size, at any position. He is amazing. The thing is, when Jalen Brunson's really, really cooking, he's getting closer shots. He's getting floater range shots, right?
Yes.
So yes, you're totally right. J-Mac, like he's going to hit those middies. He's going to hit those pull-up middies, some of those fadeaways, even beyond the 15-foot free throw range. He's going to make those consistently. But when he's really, really, really cooking, he's getting into floater range, 8-foot shots, 12-foot shots. And he makes those consistently. You cannot stop him when he's getting that deep. And you just saw him, he gained a rhythm more and more as the game went on.
Well,
he gained confidence.
Can I stop you there? Because
please do.
Just real quick on the gaining the rhythm as the game went on. He started off in this game, and Jalen Brunson started off 1 for 5, 0 for 3 from 3. He ended up not making a 3-point shot, by the way, but he ended up missing 4 of his first 5 shots overall. He was, I believe, 3 of 9 at one point. Finished 10 for 18.
I didn't even know he finished 10 for 18. Wow.
Yeah, for him to start 3 of 9 and finish 10 for 18, I think that it qualifies as gaining a rhythm.
I didn't even know the stats supported it, but I you could definitely see it live. And I even wrote a note like early on, Brunson's taking shots a bit further out than he normally does.
Yep.
And I felt like Karras was doing a pretty good job one-on-one with him.
Very good job.
And was forcing him to take a little deeper shots than he really wants to. He can make those, of course, but it's not really what he wants. He wants to get into that 8 to 12 foot range. And then he just started getting a rhythm. He started attacking. The spacing was much better as RJ started to make threes. Like guys were like, wait a second, we can't just leave that guy wide open from above the break. Okay.
And Brunson screening too, which is another thing that we've been all of the film heads have been beating that down over the last several days. You got to switch up the screening. You got to screen with the guards. You got to change where you screen. You got to change how you screen. All the things. The Knicks did all of that, and it helped loosen up the defense for Jalen Brunson to get to the spots that you're talking about him getting to.
Absolutely. And I think in the middle of the ABC broadcast, at least, I don't remember if it was Jeff Van Gundy or one of them. Oh, you know what? It was the sounds from the game, and they had the Tibbs quote. They were listening to the Tibbs, and he said,
"Oh my God, are you going to say the thing that
I wrote it down? Create space first, and then create the shot for each other."
Got it. Right.
I wrote it down because I was like,
oh, you can't see on my phone, but I wrote it down. Exactly.
Because I was like, that's exactly what they're doing. The spacing was a focus, clearly was a focus into coming into this game. And Brunson had tons of space to operate, especially as the game went on, as the Knicks started to hit shots. Eventually, they had RJ hitting shots. Julius was not hitting shots, but he was putting them up. He was absolutely putting them up. I don't know what he ended up from
by
3.
The way.
Which I didn't mind. And I don't we'll talk about Julius, obviously. I don't think he had a bad game personally. No. He didn't make shots, but I don't think he had a bad game. But yeah, at the end, it was just Brunson just started smoking. He's smoking Jetty. He's smoking Karras. He's smoking. And then that last play, I mean, we're going to talk about moments of the game, but
yeah, we're going to get there soon.
We'll get there.
I'm trying to decide where I want to go next, and my mind is going to 2 different guys that I think deserve a little outsized praise. One is Mitchell Robinson, and the other is Josh Hart. So Quentin Grimes, we should know. We'll get to the injury report in a second, but Quentin Grimes didn't play in the second half of this game. Josh Hart, I am not sure if I'm sure he did sit, and I maybe just missed it, but ended up playing 29 minutes in this game. I thought he was outstanding in his role. And by the way, if there is one stat of the game, speaking of being numbers guys, turnovers 21-14. Knicks forced 21 turnovers. Cavs forced 14 turnovers. That's not as important as the next stat, which is points off turnovers. You want your margin of victory? Here's your margin of victory. 28 points off turnovers for the Knicks, 8 points off turnovers for the Cavs.
Plus 20.
There's your 20 points. Yeah. So, and Josh Hart, it is just amazing how often when he is on the floor, turnovers just seem to happen. And, we love him for that. And then Mitch, look, he has his limitations. We saw his limitations early on in this game. They are real and they are at times spectacular. But again, if you're talking about the Knicks needing to win this series by exerting their will to some extent on the Cavs, Mitchell Robinson is a big part of that and perhaps the biggest part of that. So, yeah, take it away for either or both of those guys to talk about.
Listen, we saw Kevon Looney the other night get 9 offensive rebounds and absolutely be a major contributing factor to why the Warriors were able to dominate that game against the Kings. And then in the first quarter and early on in the game, we saw Mitchell Robinson do almost the exact same thing.
Same thing.
When you're talking about guys who have elite skills at a thing, you don't think of something like offensive rebounding. That's just it's not a thing that you think a guy can just be like, I'm just very skilled at doing this thing, but he does it somehow. He gets to the ball. He positions himself correctly. He boxes out early. He's amazing at it. And when he wants to enforce his will, he can absolutely do it. And he made Jarrett Allen look like Jarrett Allen's an all-star level player. He looked like he almost couldn't play in this series the way that Mitch dominated him.
But Mitch, he needs to do that because, I was thinking about, I'm so happy you brought up Looney because I was thinking about Looney today versus Mitch, and I'm like, specifically at the center position in the NBA, is it better to have a guy who is just above board on all the different requirements? Not to say that Kevin Looney does not have some really special qualities, but his most special quality is that he has no negatives, in that you could anything a defense or an offense is going to ask him to do, he's going to be able to do the things other than obviously create his own offense, versus a guy like Mitch who has a couple of the most special qualities you could ever hope to find between rim protection, pick and roll coverage, offensive rebounding. But there are things that he is definitely below board at. And it was nice that Mitch came out tonight and really put his special qualities front and center, and it contributed to them winning the game.
Absolutely. And I that's the thing. It's like I said, it's such a weird thing to imagine somebody just being better at than everybody else. But Mitch has that. In addition to the rim protection. The first 2 games, Mitch was, he did really well at defending the rim, but everything else was bad. And they were exploiting some of his weaknesses. And it's like, hey, if you're gonna exploit these weaknesses, Mitch, you have to show up and dominate in those spaces that you are exceptionally skilled and gifted at. And he did that today. And to me, that was really huge. It set the tone early on. I mean, nobody could make shots. Low key, my takeaway from this game was that the Cavs just couldn't make anything. I don't think necessarily that this is a reflection on the rest of the series.
Let's save that. I want to get to that in a minute because we're gonna get back to this. I don't want to be Debbie Downers right at the top. We do have to address the issue of the Cavs couldn't hit a shot. But no, Mitchell Robinson, and listen, credit to the team, coaching staff, whatever you want to say. It wasn't going well early in terms of, we're going to keep Mitch as part of the game plan because that's what they're giving us. They kept going back to it, and it ended up turning out better for them. By the way, Josh Hart, Andrew's telling me he only sat in garbage time in the second half. 2 steals for him, 2 steals and 2 blocks from Mitchell Robinson. Awesome stuff all around for them. We talked about Julius. I don't know that we need to say much else about Julius. He obviously, the shot wasn't there tonight. It's a good sign that the Knicks won a game by 20, where their lone all-star was 3 of 15 and 2 of 10 from deep. And then we should probably mention Emmanuel quickly and Obi Toppin. 2 guys drafted together, not their first go around in the playoffs. Connected at the hip to a certain extent, but they've kind of evolved in different ways. Quickly's star has certainly shined over the course of this season, at least. Obi Toppin struggled more to find his place. I got to say, Obi, before this game turned into a crazy blowout, before the series, if you would put a gun to my head and say, is Obi Toppin going to retain his rotation spot for the entire series? I would have wavered. I would have had some contemplative moments with myself. And he continues to come in and do the things that they need him to do. And for as much as this team has not geared itself to his strengths, either in terms of personnel or scheming or anything like that, he continues to make himself felt. And Emmanuel Quickley, we've been saying it, like Emmanuel Quickley needs to get going. You could argue that the most important number of the night tonight, besides RJ Barrett related numbers, Emmanuel Quickley took 3 threes, made 2 of them. Encouraging sign. So yeah.
Knicks cannot win this series, I believe, without Emmanuel Quickley. You can't just lose your third best player and still beat the top defense in the National Basketball Association. I think Quickley really woke up today. I think I was looking for a big game for him, not necessarily through scoring, but in terms of impact. Coming off of not winning the Sixth Man of the Year, which is a major disappointment. I think he expressed as much in his comments, but tactfully,
but he did, yeah,
very professional as he always is. But I think he got it going. I think his defense was really excellent. He shored up a lot of the issues that he had early on in the series where he was just getting beaten off the dribble one-on-one. We didn't see that very much. He guarded Karis LeVert pretty well. LeVert made some tough shots in the paint. Like
there was a possession late-ish. It was still a game where LeVert had him one-on-one. And I don't know if it was on the high side of the court, and he took him down, and he ended up forcing LeVert into like a tough, like a 12, 14-foot fadeaway and miss. It's like, man,
I have that written down because he was playing excellent defense on LeVert. There was one that LeVert made a tough one over him, but it was like, hey, that's the best defense you could possibly play in that situation.
Credit to LeVert, he had a great game,
and LeVert had a great game. He was exceptional. I mean, but IQ, I think we got the bounce back that I expected in terms of impact, in terms of his minutes. Obi Toppin, John, you know I'm the Obi Toppin guy.
You have your beachfront property on Obi Island, man. You never gave it up, not even remotely.
And I gotta say, like, obviously Obi, it wasn't all good for Obi. Obi did make a couple mistakes. He made a mistake on defense, overcommitting to LeVert in the corner when he was supposed to be splitting between Garland and LeVert. It's like, if you got to choose a guy to shoot, not LeVert over Garland. But so he made a couple mistakes, but when he was left open in the corner, he was able to hit that shot. He attacked a closeout, got to the rim.
Beautiful. Made a really nice pass to.
Made a really nice pass. I think it was to Hartenstein.
It was to Hartenstein. Yeah.
I think it was to Hartenstein. And then in transition, you know what it is in transition with Obi. So I love the Josh Hart and Obi Toppin connection. The pace of that unit is it's such a curveball because the pace of the other unit when it's just JB and Randall trying to cook one-on-one, and then you bring in Obi Toppin and Josh Hart, and they're just flying up the court. It's just a curveball.
It's also, and like we've talked for, 2 years now, and really, if you want to go back to when Derrick Rose first got here, the impact of the bench, it's that the bench is a materially different organism than the starting lineup.
Great way to say it.
It's completely different. You know, it wants different things. It lives off of different things. And they were that way tonight. Let's do one last thing before we get to injury report and moment of the game. So you nailed it already. The Cavs missed shots. The Knicks won this game by 20. I am not counting any chickens. No. I have too much respect for this team. I know that is not the tenor that anybody wants me to have right now.
We can't both have that perspective, John. One of us has to be exuberant over the top. It's not going to be me.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, there you go. So, but look, are the Cavs going to come out on Sunday and shoot as poorly as they did tonight? I don't think they are. Now, does it mean that the Knicks can't translate some of what they did defensively tonight to Sunday? Absolutely, they can. Same thing on the other end of the court. But like Darius Garland, who is a guy that obviously we saw what he could do a few days ago. Now, being on the road in MSG in a playoff atmosphere is a different animal. Is Darius Garland gonna get over that before Sunday? Or
he also had the ankle sprain.
He also had the ankle sprain late, so that is another thing. And again, we learned from Josh Hart that just because you go back into a game does not necessarily mean, but I don't know. The sprain didn't look too bad. We'll see what happens. I think the biggest point of encouragement for me moving forward in this series, and my God, was this a huge game to get, because like I'm not changing my tune. I've said all along, just get me to a game 7. And I feel like this is a massive step towards getting to a game 7. Ideally, maybe we don't even need to get to a game 7, but fail safe. The Cavs have 5 guys. They have 5 guys. Okoro played 12 minutes tonight. Osman played 16. Danny Green played 12. Danny Green didn't hit a shot. Chetty Osman didn't hit a shot. Okoro actually made both of his shots that he took. We'll see how much more he plays moving forward. But Cavs have 5 guys. And if one of those 5 didn't play well or didn't shoot well, like tonight, like here's the funny thing tonight, right? Mitchell, I know it wasn't a classic Mitchell game. 22 points. I have a feeling he's going to have a better game on Sunday. But he was 9 for 19. LeVert had a great run in the third quarter there, obviously. Jared Allen only took 3 field goals, made them all. You could say his impact was a little muted. I thought Mobley was good, actually. 5 of 10.
Was solid.
Yeah, I thought he was, like when one of your top 5 doesn't perform, can you win a game? God forbid if 2 of your top. So, like, moving forward in the series, for as much as we could sit here and be like, the Cavs missed everything tonight, like you look at the final stat lines of their big players, it's not really that reflective of a team that missed as many shots as it felt like they were missing. So like, I'm trying to reconcile those two things as I consider the rest of the series. And I cautiously optimistic, I guess.
I think that I don't have the stats in front of me. I think the Cavs missed like 49 shots in this game.
The Cavs' final stat line was 31 for 80. So yes, they missed 49 shots.
49 shots. And then, but I think that in game 2, the Knicks missed 50 shots, which is hilarious. Very to funny. Miss that many shots. But to be honest, I don't think the Cavs can win with Garland not having a good game. I don't think they're going to beat the Knicks if Garland doesn't have a solid game. He doesn't have to go off like he did in game 2, but he's got to have like 20 to 25. I don't think they have enough.
Unless Mitchell has
unless Mitchell drops
the
like
sort
50
of game
or something. Yeah. I just don't think they have enough. And to be honest, to me, like you said, Mobley was fine. Mitchell was like pretty good, not enough to overcome the rest of the bad shooting. Garland was bad.
Mitchell had moments. There were some shots that Mitchell had because look, the game ended up getting out of hand. It was not out of hand for the majority of this game. I was biting my nails until midway through the fourth quarter. And Mitchell had some opportunities to make some shots that would have cut this to in a little bit more uncomfortable place. And it felt like he missed all of the ones that would have, cut it.
And I was even messaging in the KFS faculty group thread. Like I'm still worried about Donnie. I'm still worried about him.
Listen, man.
At any point, kind of erupting. At any point,
we're getting at least one Donnie game. Probably getting 2 Donnie games left in the series.
It's good. So, but I will say this: here's where the exuberance will come into play. Here's the exuberance that I'll give you. I'll contribute to this post-game show. If the Knicks win on Sunday, it's a wrap.
Oh yeah,
it's a wrap.
This
is a must-win game. I don't say this often. This is a must-win game for Cleveland. Cleveland cannot go down 3-1. It's over. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how good their defense is. They are not going to win 3 in a row. It's a wrap if they do not win on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think the Knicks will come out feeling more comfortable than they did tonight because, look, the dirty little secret of MSG is it's not always only the visitors who get tight. And if you don't think the Knicks were tight to start the game.
They were tight to start the game.
They were tight. So I actually don't think the Knicks will be as tight on Sunday. We'll see if the Cavs are. I expect a big game from Donovan Mitchell. All right. Personal injury report very quickly. So Quentin Grimes did not play in the second half of this game. He had a shoulder contusion. Okay. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I will say, though, look, I've been beating the drum all series. This is going to be a Quentin Grimes series. Thus far, that has not been proven correct at all. He was 1 of 5 tonight. He had one little off of an offensive rebound, broken play. He had a little short mid-ranger, but missed all 3 of his threes. He has not gotten going yet. Maybe this just isn't his series. defensively, he is still an important piece for this team. I hope he could go. If he can't go, I got to say it wouldn't. I don't think it would be the end of the world for me if he couldn't go. I don't. I shouldn't say it like that, but like I think they could win a game without Quentin Grimes. Let me just.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you, and I thought this to myself when I saw that Quentin Grimes was out with a contusion, didn't start the second half, and I'm thinking like, is he coming back? And I really honestly thought to myself, surprised myself. I was like, it's kind of fine.
And listen, you're not gonna find much bigger Quentin Grimes fan than me, but I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Moment of the game. Let's get Andrew up here for this.
By the way, Jericho Sims was out with a shoulder thing too, which is why we got Hartenstein.
We got Hartenstein late.
It's noted on the injury report.
It is noted on the injury report. Okay. There's a lot of different ways that we could go here.
So I narrowed it down to 4. Let me see if you think they're the correct 4.
So I think the exclamation point of quickly to Obi for the lob to make it 83-62, because I think Obi got fouled there. Do you have that as one?
I don't actually, but
you don't have that one, Andrew?
Because there was a moment after that I thought was just as big.
The Brunson nail in the coffin?
So here's my thought process, and I loved how that second unit was playing in the fourth quarter, and then with about 6.5 left, Tibbs subbed RJ and Julius back in for Quickly and Obi, and I looked at the time and was like, all right, there's room for one more run, and Julius, like you said, XJ, like he didn't shoot well. I didn't think he had necessarily a bad game. He really equalized Mobley too, which is why I was kind of okay with this process tonight. He just didn't hit his threes. Then Mitchell hits a 3 to cut it down to 19, and it's like, all right, I now need to see how this goes. Then Julius has a turnover on a skip pass, and I'm clenching. And then Jalen Brunson and 1 to make it 90-68, and then he daps up John Starks, and it's like, all right, now this game's over.
That one against Jared Allen, right?
So it was either Jared Allen or Mitchell, because Mitchell
there were 2. He had 2 and ones. Yeah,
this was the one where he dapped up John Starks.
Yes, the 90-68,
and it made it Knicks 90 Cavs something. All right, I think we should go with one of those 2. I'm going to throw out 2 more, one of which has to be in there, in my humble opinion, and then another which I'll hear arguments for. I think RJ's first 3 has to be
I have it written down. Made it 6-5. No one in the Knicks was hitting shots except Julius hit 2 free throws. And then RJ hit a 3. And it's like, oh, someone can hit a shot today. And it's RJ who hasn't hit a 3 since, the Super Bowl.
It's been a while. And then the other one that I'm going to throw out there, and again, maybe this is just me. It was, hold on. So Donovan Mitchell was getting going a little bit. He made a 3-pointer to make it. He bring the Cavs within 9, 53-62. Josh Hart made a couple free throws, and then Mitchell made a floater to make it 64-55, 9-point game. Josh Hart made a 3
on an RJ assist, a kick out too. I have the same one, John.
RJ Barrett assist. It was the first field goal the Knicks had since RJ. Or excuse me, sorry. Yeah, since RJ had made a 3 with 5:13 left in the quarter. So they went over 3 minutes without a field goal. I thought that Hart 3 was massive in the moment, and it was it kind of ended the last real push for Cleveland.
Keon real push.
Yes, exactly.
A push that seemed like it was threatening. Yeah, for sure. Did you guys know, like, just moment of the game, I'm thinking something that just got me excited. It got me hype out of my seat. The Randall dunk off of the Brunson pass in the third quarter.
I had that written down as a possibility, yeah.
JB penetrating, kicking it to Randall, and he flew through the air after like a sketchy shot-making game for Randall. I thought that was really important and just got me excited. So maybe it won't make the cut, but it was a good play.
Even more so to why I thought that was big. The next time down the court, Randall hits a step back 3. So it was like, he saw the ball go in, and now he saw it go in again. Now, granted, didn't make another shot the rest of the game. Didn't need him to. There's 2 other I wrote down. We could just put them in the OLI, the outside looking in. But end of the second quarter, when I thought they needed to close strong, there's back-to-back possessions where an Randall kick, because he was, again, not making shots, but his process was there. Drives, kicks to Quickly, hits a 3, puts him up 11. And then on the other the next possession, because they didn't try to do a 2-for-1. They got a steal,
yep.
and RJ quickly finds RJ for the dunk to end the first half, and it's like, oh wow, we're up 13.
One thing on that, and that's definitely the underrated play, the moment of the game or sequence of the game, because don't forget that was preceded by Mitchell had an attempt for a 3. It was a pretty open attempt that would have cut it, I believe, to 5. He missed it, and that attempt came after Emmanuel quickly bumbled the inbounds and he stepped over the sideline.
Yeah.
And that gave Mitchell that attempt. And then for quickly after that error to come back and hit that 3 off the RJ pass, absolutely massive sequence of events going into the half.
And then I have one more. It's sentimental. It's an OLI, but Derrick Rose alley to
Obi.
Alley to Obi.
Yeah, that was the exclamation
point.
You know, it was all good vibes at MSG. And I'll even throw like an olive branch. It's apparently an all blue and orange night tonight. The Mets, Pete Alonso just teed off. The Islanders won. So
great.
Shout out to all New York teams that wear blue and orange. I will not talk about other teams.
Andrew, pick whichever you think is the most deserving.
You got
XJ, final words before we let you go.
I love this game. I love the fact that, you know, even though no one can make shots and it was like a really rough looking game, just the way that they closed it, the way that JB just showed, I honestly, I've gone back and forth on this in terms of who I think the favorite is in this series. I mean, obviously I'm back on the Knicks side. And to me, it's largely not because of the RJ explosion. The RJ explosion was great. It's just Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson cannot be stopped. You cannot stop him consistently. I do not think a team can stop Jalen Brunson one-on-one for the entirety of a series where he's not going to go off for 3 or 4 games. Brunson is just elite. And I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he gets a lot of credit of like, this guy is good. This guy is solid. This guy is much better than we thought. Jalen Brunson is an elite ISO scorer in the game of basketball. And we have that guy. And have that guy. That's my takeaway. I love it. I'm so excited about it.
It's a great take. It's a fantastic take. He's the guy that gives me faith. Because look, again, you talk up and down about adjustments and scheme and this and that. If you don't have that guy in the playoffs, doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter
at all. Not even a little bit. And we have a guy. And that's pretty cool. XJ, you are the man. Thank you for hopping on here with me for a little bit of an extended intro. Go enjoy the spoils, right?
Yes, sir. Love you guys. Have fun. Later.
Absolutely. Will do. All right. I just want to say last thing before we start with the super chats. 24 years ago, not 24 years ago today, because it was May 12th, but game 3 score for the first round of Knicks Heat in the 1999 Eastern Conference first round. And that was the first game in the Garden for that playoff run, obviously. Knicks won that game 97-73. Very reminiscent score of tonight, 99-79. So similar defensive showing for the Knicks as it was 24 years ago, which is kind of cool. All right. On that note, let's do this. Andrew Claudio.
So we have a reoccurring segment.
Oh, great.
Robert Cross, super chats.
Oh, boy.
Before the game started and ended.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I haven't even checked my DM. My DMs were my DMs probably broke.
They're probably, I was about to say, they're probably very full.
All right.
Okay, so we start here.
It's your boy, John. There was nothing better than playoff basketball at the Garden when the Knicks are real. Nothing. Hashtag 53 wins. I agree with that. First time, long time, John. It is early on, but it looks like RJ is the best player on the floor for the Knicks thus far. Thanks. I'll hang up and listen. Hashtag 53 wins. Look, the Crow is here. The Crow. I'm leaving the Crow here the whole show.
We're eating Crow tonight. I'm happy to. Give me some barbecue sauce. Give me. I'll wash it down with a Red Bull. Happy to do it. That's
I've never been so happy to eat Crow. He was the best player on the floor tonight. He was the most important player on the floor. And this is a game that was 4 years in the making.
What did we say to the chase down guys? That maybe we get an RJ Barrett game. They were like, well, maybe we get a Karis LeVert game. But guess what? Through 3 games, we got both.
That's why, but this is why RJ was an X factor. An X factor can go in one of 2 directions, 2 extremes. If the more extreme, the more they're an X factor. Tonight, we saw the other extreme. Thank God.
Keep it going.
Robert Cross with another one. It's your boy, John. Now my point guard is cooking, and it's been a long damn time to have a proper floor general. Hashtag 53 wins. I don't know what else to say about Jalen Brunson that hasn't been said already. XJ just summed it up, I think, pretty well. The fact that we have Jalen Brunson in this series gives me faith that we could win it. That's all that we need to say.
I'll add one thing.
Yeah.
So you see the guy that's over my right shoulder?
Carmelo Anthony, yes.
Tonight was the first time where I was like, this is different. Like, I'm confident we will win this game with every shot, and every time the Knicks have the ball, it's in Jalen Brunson's hands. And I would throw an olive branch to anybody that wants to overreact tonight. Like, I hope Jalen Brunson does accomplish more than Melo.
Brunson, because he's a point guard, and because his skill level at isolation scoring is so high, and when you add in the unselfish factor, and there were some moments, by the way, in the first half where I was like, Brunson has had the opportunity a couple times to, when they brought the double up high, to get off the ball, and he kind of hasn't taken the opportunity, and he's instead called his own number. And I said to myself, I'm like, well, wait a minute. He's trying to get himself going. And I thought to myself, well, why would he do that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because if Jalen Brunson doesn't get himself going, the Knicks aren't doing shit in this series.
Yeah, that's why.
And he got him. Guess what? It worked.
Got himself going. I'll take it. So
yeah,
shout out Jalen Brunson.
Yeah,
there's more to come. Don't worry.
Okay, here we go. Is it another Robert Cross?
There's 6 more Robert Cross ones. Yes.
Jesus Christ. We'll get through these. Narrative in first time, one time, John. Narrative in recent days are how good of a team the Cavs are. They look straight up garbage to me. Hashtag 53 wins. Here's what I'll say about the Cavs. I'm going to try to keep it a buck. They are extraordinarily top heavy. They're extraordinarily top heavy, and the fact that they have to, in order to score enough points to win this series, they have to play a group of perimeter defenders that you can figure out ways to score upon. That is why coming into the playoffs, I don't think many pundits painted them as legitimate championship contenders. I think people were like, they can win this series. Maybe they'll put a scare into whoever comes next. My focus was that I did not think the Knicks were necessarily the best matchup for them. And I still have qualms about that. But they are not a perfect team by any stretch of the imagination. So that I'll give you, Robert.
Next up.
It's your boy, John. That is our IQ. Let's go. Hashtag 53 wins. When that 3 went, the first 3 that he shot, what was the first one? Was it the 3 or the floater?
The floater is what his first.
The first one.
Bucket, yeah.
That was big, and then the 3 was just as big. He looked like Emmanuel quickly a little bit tonight. Not full IQ, partial IQ. It's your boy, John. Can you describe RJ's play in the first half? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen. Hashtag 53 wins.
Important.
Importance is the best word. I'm gonna. It was methodical in a way. He honed in on his comfort zones, did not try to go outside of them, and he lived in them. But at the same time, it is a testament to him, and I looked it up before the game, and you know what I'm about to say because I texted you a tweet that I didn't send. Of every player in the NBA this year, because New York Basketball, shout out, great Twitter account, tweeted out today that RJ said last April. Also, what am I going to work on this summer? I'm going to work on my pull-up shooting, my three-point shooting. RJ was the worst three-point shooter in the league this year amongst players that took at least 53s.
Yes,
pull-up threes, specific. He was 10 of 51 on pull-up threes. Did not go well for him. And I understand, I don't think any of his threes were pull-up threes tonight, but, like, that's besides the point. This season has gone so haywire for him in so many ways. For him to have the confidence on this stage, when nobody else, literally, there wasn't another player on the floor. You want to give me Donovan Mitchell? Okay, Donovan Mitchell had some shots early on that were good, but that's Donovan Mitchell. That's the guy who's going to make first-team All-NBA in all likelihood. For RJ Barrett to be the guy for the Knicks who did not cower and back down on that stage, it speaks so much to who he is, and his belief in himself, which can be detrimental at times, but tonight, there's nothing detrimental about it tonight.
Next up.
It's your boy, John. Did you see Julius drop the hammer on their heads? Cavs look soft tonight. Hashtag 53 wins.
Made it to the third quarter.
Did the Cavs look soft tonight?
I thought they looked shook, is what I told you on Patreon today.
Well, they were shook early.
I thought third quarter, LeVert started hitting shots and Mitchell started hitting shots. Garland didn't hit his first shot of the game until late in the third quarter. I thought they looked very shook.
The thing about them is, for as much as, like I just said, they're so top heavy and they don't have any more than these five guys. If two guys are scoring for them, that could be enough, on a lot of nights for if they get just two guys who are really in a rhythm, because that's the funny thing about LeVert is a guy who over the course of his NBA career has, like, he can do this. He's carried teams scoring wise. It has been a while, but he did it with Brooklyn. But they were shook. It's your boy, John. How do you feel about RJ's resiliency to believe in himself? That three was a nice splash. I feel surprised. Pleasantly surprised, if I'm being honest. I'm surprised by it. Happy to admit that I'm wrong. It's your boy, John. Did you see that pass RJ made on dribble penetration for the hard three? That was a good one. One of many. I can't wait to I mean, honestly, so I'm gonna try to write something for tomorrow morning for the newsletter, and it's gonna be more general. But in terms of when I start breaking this game down, which actually, am I going to have a breakdown? Because they play again on Sunday. So, man, I don't know if I'm going to do that. At some point, I will give RJ Barrett his due for the complete game that he played tonight. That's for sure. With film. First time, long time, John. The Cavs look like straight up garbage tonight. Is that one of the trademarks of a great team? Hashtag 53 wins. Robert, be careful.
No. Robert, don't be careful at all tonight. Talk your shit, Robert Cross. Enjoy the journey. Talk your shit.
I think this team will be resilient. I think we are going to get a very, very, very good effort from Cleveland on Sunday.
You may be right. You may be right. Tonight, they got run off the floor by the New York Knickerbockers. Talk your shit, Robert Cross.
It's your boy, John. Deuce time. Let's hope he makes a difference here.
All 13 seconds he played at the end of the third is when this happened.
I'm just surprised we won this game without Cam. First time, long time, John. The Obi splash of the quarter three hits different. No, it does to me. Hashtag 53 wins. You might get your 53 wins wish. I said that.
All right, two more, and then he's officially done. We'll go to other people.
First time, it's your boy, John. Can you talk to me a little bit about Money Mitch tonight? Looked really well to me. Thanks. I'll hang up and listen. Hashtag 53 wins. For me, I think Mitch is... He's not going to be maybe the thing I remember most about this game, but like, in terms of growth, there was just something so important and impressive to me, because, like, playoff basketball, it's so tempting because it's such a short series, even a 7-game series. It's such a short series, and every game means so much. And to me, it would have been really tempting to go away from, man, we can't toss Mitch the ball anymore, and then if you can't toss Mitch the ball anymore, well, can you play Mitch anymore? And, like, how much does that restrict your offense if you don't feel comfortable giving him the ball when he's out there and like this, that, and the other thing. And it felt like we were early on bordering on that. And credit to whoever deserves credit on the Knicks coaching staff or the Knicks players, or all the above, and to Mitch himself, obviously. They stuck with it, and we now can move forward in this series having a little bit of belief about Mitchell Robinson can be a functional part of this offense in the ways that they need him to be successful, and not be playing 5-on-4 when they're out there.
Last one.
It's your boy John. This is to all the RJ haters. Get a new hobby. Hashtag 53 wins. I love it.
Take the lap tonight. Take the lap tonight. All the RJ stands
Everybody
out there.
take the lap tonight.
Yes.
Everybody take the lap.
This is awesome. Okay, let's have a fun, probably nice and long post game. But thank you to everybody for your contributions. We had as many as 1,800 watching live. Still got 1,300 here in the chat with us. Thank you for watching live. Yeah, we're smoking on that Cleveland pack tonight.
I might have to go get a cigar. Okay, here we go. Adam, bring out the crow. Let's fucking go, baby. Bully ball. So a bit of analysis. I didn't like, to me, I look, RJ gets to the hoop. It's what he does. It's his whole thing. Bully ball, there is not, to me, an accurate description of RJ tonight because there was so much finesse, which is not a word I usually use about RJ Barrett. But there was so much finesse to his game tonight. And I loved it. Loved every bit of it. That dude was a basketball player out there tonight. BNYK98. Hey, Macri, my brother and I were lucky enough to fly up and attend Game 3. That's awesome, man. Really cool. My dad, Andrew, the OG Knicks fan, couldn't make it due to some sudden health problems. He's a huge fan. Love you, Dad, and let's go Knicks. I love these super chats because they're a great reminder that sports are ultimately about family. And I hope your dad's doing okay. Dad, if you're watching, shout out to you. Feel better. I hope tonight made you feel better. And this is just really cool. That's so special. Yeah, that's really special. Busy. Very pleased with the win tonight. Great team win. I love Busy. Busy is so subtle. He's so sly. You know what you want to do tonight, Busy. Take that victory lap, man. Put the hands up the whole time. You have a cigar in each finger, in each hand. Brian Garneau, Obi, and RJ siding. Brunson, this team is fun. Hashtag depth. Yeah, the team is fun. They've been fun all year, or for most of the year. That's actually not true. They were not fun for the first third of the season, which is what makes the season so special. But they're fun and they're resilient. If there's one word that I'm going to think back 10, 20, 30 years from now on this Knicks team, it's resilient. Got their ass kicked the other night. And they came back and they kicked Cleveland's ass tonight. Joe Dugan, love you, Mac. No offense intended here. You know that. Seems personal with RJ for you for the piling on, dead horse beating, but hope you're able to see. We need his playmaking and talent to contend. Great win. Let's go Knicks. Is it personal for me? No, it's not personal in the way that it was personal for me with like Julius last year. That, and I said as much, that got personal. With RJ, the way, and I've said this before, this is not news to anybody. When he struggles, the way he struggles for me, the way I watch the game, it makes it very hard to believe that there is another side to the coin. And because of that, quite steadfast belief on my part, which tonight did a lot to shake and start to turn in the other direction. Because of that belief on my part, I have thought a lot over the last certainly year and really going back to even over the summer that this is not a player that I had a lot of confidence building with and building around moving forward. And I think that's part of the reason why I do go out of my way at times to put out the numbers that relate to this player, because I do feel like people who have the steadfast belief in him ignore the numbers. And that is the tension that I kind of opened the show with XJ. And at the end of the day, I think, like, I don't, the numbers are important, but it's also important for, it sounds like you, Joe, are just someone that has the steadfast belief. That's important too. When you just see qualities in a player where you're like, forget the data points. Like, this is a guy that's going to be successful. And yeah, I mean, it's something I struggle with, because he has not been my cup of tea. I'll be the first to admit. He's not been my cup of tea as a basketball player. I'm not going to go so far as to say it's gotten personal, though. That's not the case. Dan Hidalgo, Bing Bong. Really, Dan? Do we have to do the Bing Bong tonight? Oh, man.
Where do we stand on Bing Bong?
I'm out.
Okay. As am I, but
I'm still out.
I found out that, like, there are Bing Bong people that
Is there a Bing Bong hive?
So Sean was like, Bing Bong was awesome, but it got bad because the Knicks started losing, and the rest of us were like, no, Bing Bong was trash as it happened. But I now respect people. Like, there are people. Oh, I should say this. There are now people I respect that liked it. Like, Mensa loved it and added, like, because I grew up riding the train, Bing Bong was like personal to me, in the sense of, like, win or lose, we move on because the train just keeps moving. And I was like, I grew up in Long Island, so I don't have that perspective. So I will respect that and not say everybody that likes it is awful. What I will say is that I'm glad we have moved on, is my take on the chant. Although the best part of that whole video is there's multiple things. It's the and you know what, Tom Brady's a bitch. The second best thing in that is, tell me a little something, KD. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? So I just want to add this to the remix. Tell me a little something, Donovan Mitchell. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
It wasn't his choice.
Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Thanks, Dan. Hank Hootenbus play the game, the Josh Hart 3 in the third quarter. Hey, I'm glad we're on the same page about that one. That one, I mean, sometimes you get a feeling when a shot goes down and the way momentum is going in a game. There was some about that Hart 3 that felt pretty massive in the moment. Yeah, completely agree. And by the way, New York had some nice defensive stops before that 3, where it felt like the Cavs had a few opportunities to close the lead, and they did not take advantage of it. I thought that was the pivotal stretch of the game, other than maybe the end of the first half. Thanks, Hank. D-Zilla, hi, John. Hi, Crow. And those RJ calories were delectable tonight. What do you think? Third banana. If he plays like this, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, again, like, the guy we saw tonight is a guy who is absolutely being capable of being the third best player on a championship team. It's only an hour after the game, right? Is it too much for me to ask, can we see it again? And then could we see it again after that? And then could we see it again after that? It's like, third best players on title teams are, I mean, historically are Hall of Fame level players. So they put forth these sorts of performances on the regular. But you got to start with one, and big time performance from RJ Barrett. Thanks, Diesel. Dom Cappuccini, Knicks playoffs, we back. They met my quota for 6 games. Now it's time to overachieve. I love these dogs, man. Look, I will be so pleasantly surprised if they get the win on Sunday. This, to me, all the way has felt like a series that's going 7. And I don't mind saying that because I have zero trepidation over whether or not the Knicks could win in Cleveland in a Game 7. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they win this series before 7 games. Hell, I hope they win the series in 5 games. But tonight was a big step towards making sure this thing at least goes 7. At least goes 7. Drew P. Glimpses are why I've been on RJ Island to a fault. JB, Bench, and Mitch, defense plus the crowd, amazing. JA and EM are off zeros. Tibbs masterclass, they always get back up. JA and EM.
Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
Mobley are off zeros.
That I don't know.
Are off zeros. I don't know what that reference is to. Offensive zeros. Offensive zeros. Duh. I will push back against that. I don't know if Evan Mobley was an offensive zero tonight. I think Evan Mobley had some nice moments on offense tonight. What I will say is if Evan Mobley, because I think he was 5 for 10. You want the offense running through Evan Mobley because Evan Mobley is, and this is I think the biggest evolution of the game and why we've gone away from big men who all they could do is score down low. And to be clear, Evan Mobley has not really shown that he could consistently score down low. But like, in order to be a big man that is a fulcrum to an offense, you need to be able to score. You need to basically be the guy and also have the passing component, because the more you dump it down to those guys down low, that's not really the way to get into a rhythm. And it's why it's such a perimeter-oriented game now, because when you get a guy like Donovan Mitchell or any perimeter player going, it changes the momentum in such a different way than when like Evan Mobley scores a nice 2-point shot over like Julius Randle or something. So the notion of trying to funnel the Cavs offense into Evan Mobley or Jared Allen, that is a really smart move. Good, well-coached game. Hush Sue, what kind of excuses and crying are we going to hear post-game by the Cavs? Brunson had 1 free throw this game. So what is it now for him? We back. Oh, they have no excuse. I mean, their excuses are they miss shots. And I guarantee you that's what they're going to say privately. They're going to say we had opportunities to win this game. Dom Cappuccini with another one. Crowan and Robert Cross, hashtag let him know. Welcome back. Star J. I'll take some of that humble pie when John is done with it. Man, now you want me. I want pie now. That's not good. I can't get pie at this hour. Hush Sue. Randall's due for a big game, but I will say Mobley is generational on defense. I focused on him this game and how he was going to be a multi-time defensive player of the year. I mean, to be a third-place finisher in the defensive player of the year voting as a second-year guy is... It's I don't think it's unprecedented, but like, you get a defensive player like this into the sport once every 5 to 10 years. He's that good. He's that special. And it's part of why I still feel, or at least felt early on in this game when the Knicks, because the Knicks it was not working for the Knicks early on in this game. They were going down low and they were getting nothing out of it. And the reason is because trying to challenge those guys it's really hard. Now, they eventually got a little bit more into the short mid-range, and then their shots down low came as a result of passing as opposed to them trying to just bully ball their way, which was not working. The thing about Mobley is, and this is, I think, what you're kind of alluding to, is like he's the queen on the chessboard. He's a queen on the chessboard. He's not gonna guard anybody and have that player be like, oh, I have a matchup advantage. It's not gonna happen. So valuable. D Zilla with another one. Don't tell GMAC, but to me, Jalen Brunson is a better Knick leader than Melo, and RJ resurrects better than Jesus.
So, am I supposed to be offended on behalf as a fan of Melo or as a fan of Jesus?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. You're a good Christian boy.
Yeah.
Right?
Shout out Pastor Claudio and his O Beehive.
I mean, in fairness, and I am not a Melo guy, it's easier to be a leader, I think, in the sense that you're talking about when you're the point guard. The
chat is hilarious right now.
Why?
Shout out Dirty Dancer, one of our mods. Jesus only rose once. That is a tremendous line. Easter was 2 weeks ago, Dirty Dancer. That is a tremendous line. Dad, his words, not mine. I've never been someone that's like Melo was this like galvanizing leader that helped teams overcome. All of his like former teammates swear by him. I'll say that, but I thought he was just like one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen, and they were never referring to him as Cap or our leader or anything like that. Like Tyson Chandler was like the leader on that team. Jason Kidd was the leader on that 2013 team.
I think Jalen Brunson has done a beautiful job of maintaining the pulse of this roster.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something a point guard is supposed to do because they have the ball. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Thanks, D-Zilla. Appreciate you and appreciate the Jesus comparison. That's a great line. Sam Garcia's dad. I'm cranking Redemption Song by Bob Marley for Mr. Barrett. Welcome back, RJ. We missed you. I can't co-sign that last part because we missed you implies that we saw a version of RJ Barrett, this version of RJ Barrett before, and he went away. I don't think we've ever seen RJ this good. Not once. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, but you could agree to disagree. Haitian Ferg, what's going on, Haitian? I want to personally credit RJ for setting the tone tonight. Great response. Tonight, the Garden was lit. We shut them down tonight defensively. Very encouraged by what I saw. Get well soon, Grimes. Let's freaking go Knicks. Yeah, I again, to be very clear, I want Grimes to get better. And Haitian, thank you for bringing it back to this. The Garden tonight, like, you want to talk about why the Cavs got off to the shooting start that they got off to? The Knicks defense had a lot to do with it. The Garden was this was a win where the entire fan base, and this fan base has gotten kicked and pilloried and dragged through the mud and poked fun at so many times, so many freaking times. When you got, I'm sorry to have to do this. When you have clowns like Stephen A. Smith on television as like, that's the representation of your fan base, a person who literally should be wearing face paint because, and like poofy red hair and a red nose, and is there purely to be the LOL Knicks fan that everybody wants to make fun of. When that is the representation of your fan base, like, it's so demeaning and demoralizing. And I don't want to pile it all on Stephen A. Smith because he's the person that it happens to be. But like, in general, that sentiment has existed for so long. And for Knicks fans to never, ever quit their team. And you know what's proof of that? The fact that I'm sitting here and talking to you in front of, and that the Knicks Film School is what it is proof of that. Because guess when we really got our start in earnest is when this team was winning 17 games. And I was sitting here talking after games where they were losing by 30 and talking about positives in those games. And that's what this fan base, that's the character that this fan base has. And that character showed up in such a monumental way tonight. And I thought, that's why I said at the top, along with RJ Barrett, the MSG crowd was the co-MVP of this game. Without question.
So for those listening on the pod, I just put up a picture.
Did you just make that or did you find that?
I shout out Reddit. This apparently exists on reddit.com, like in the Knicks subreddit. There's a picture I found of Stephen A. Smith in a clown costume with a rainbow wig and a red nose. I also found Stephen A. Smith as the Joker So look on your screen, John.
Oh my God, that's unsettling. Sorry, I just saw Josh Hart tweeted out RJ MF Barrett.
RJ MF Barrett. I'll take it.
Damn
this team, the chemistry on this team, man.
I
love it so much.
That's real.
Yeah.
By the way, this is per Timmy Bontemps. Cavs coach JB Bickerstaff said he thought his team felt the nerves of the moment early on. You think? And then failed to trust in making the right plays offensively, with each guy trying to do it all themselves instead. Yep.
Repeat after me. They were shook.
They were shook.
Yes. All right. Next one.
Hushu, insert Shaq apology meme to RJ. What a comeback.
Do you know what this meme is?
No.
Okay. So Shaq was interviewing someone.
Yes, I'm familiar with this. Yes.
Yeah, Shaq was interviewing someone post game that I had never heard of you, or I want to owe you an apology. I was unfamiliar with your game, and now he is from. We are all familiar with. Shout out Zach Lowe, by the way, friend of the pod. We have ourselves a good RJ Barrett playoff game now.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. Waited until the moment was right. Yanni Golan, what's going on, Yanni? Yes. Please chant with me, John. RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett.
Oh, man. Thought that they would never come, huh? He earned it tonight. Let's freaking go. Knicks, JB, I love you so much. I'm so happy. Good morning. Israel. Yeah, shout out to Israel. Shout out everywhere, all over the world. Anybody watching? As by the way, shout out to, I can't believe I'm saying this. Shout out to the Hawks. Gave themselves a series tonight. They beat Boston. Not so much for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are now down 3-0. Hayden Freed. The Cavs are toast that Rick puts baby food on to feed Jalen. The Cavs are toast that Rick Brunson puts baby. Oh, I get it. All right. I see what you did there. Donovan Mitchell scored 71 this year. The Cavs scored 79 in a playoff game. RJ Barrett was the best player in a Knicks playoff win. Say his name, John. I just did. RJ Barrett, baby. I'm happy. I'm thrilled for him. I'm thrilled for him. I'm thrilled for the Knicks, and I'm thrilled that I'm wrong as all hell about his ability to come up big in the situation. Speaking of which, busy. To John and friends who like to pile on RJ, trust in your beloved Tibbs. He plays RJ for a reason. He wants him to work through some things, not to hear you complain about his decision. Look, I've said this before on the pod, and I will go back to it. I think there are, and there have been since the day he was drafted, and I feel very comfortable saying this, disparate opinions within the Knicks organizations about RJ Barrett. I think there are people who have been fans of him since the day he was drafted within the organization, and I think there have been people who have been skeptical of him since the day he was drafted within the organization. And I think those two sides still exist. And the reality of the situation is, for as long as RJ Barrett is here, there will never be a moment where the Knicks willingly marginalize him. And that is because they do know what he is capable of. And there is a sentiment, I believe, within the organization that, look, the bumps are real. And they are sometimes hard to deal with. But if he gets going, he can be the game changer. And he was absolutely the game changer in this game tonight. And I believe, and I don't know if this will come out in the reporting, but I will just say, this is my belief. I believe a massive focus between game 2 and tonight was getting RJ going ahead of this game. And I had a feeling the focus was going to be on RJ Barrett tonight. I was skeptical of whether he would live up to the moment. He absolutely did. So, yes. Good job, Busy. Sam Garcia's dad. What a night, big win, and Sam Garcia's mom got to see her favorite D Rose finish the game. I wish D Rose would have hit one shot. That's the only thing that I'm a little sad by. I'm happy he got the lob to Obi though. It was cool. It was a cool moment. It was a cool moment for Derrick Rose and for every fan who was in that game. Yeah, very much so. Thanks, Sam Garcia's dad. Kevin Danishevsky, Macri, can you order some crow for 2? Well, this guy, I feel like crows don't have a lot of meat on them. I feel like crow for 2 would actually be like crow for 1. It's like a small Cornish game hen. I think we both need some after tonight. I loved what I see from him all around, trying to be in the moment, special. I think this is a game to live in the moment. You know, are the Knicks going to win this series? You know, we'll see. But big step tonight. And I haven't said it yet, and I'll say it now. I think this was an important night organizationally because of the alternative, which was if they had come out tonight with all the energy for this game, with the crowd and the whole thing, and they had, they weren't getting like blown out tonight or anything, but if like, let's say the Cavs kept it close and the Knicks were never able to put it away and the Cavs eked one out, I just think that there would have been it would have put such a cloud over what the Knicks have already accomplished this season. And even making it to the 5th seed and like Jalen Brunson doing what he's done and all the different things. For them to come out tonight and win the game in the way that they did, and for RJ to have the game that he had, my God, was that important? Because here's the thing about this, and look, we're not gonna do off-season talk tonight, but like whatever the Knicks want to do this summer, whether they want to continue to build around RJ Barrett or they want to utilize RJ Barrett as a piece to move and whatever. Tonight, for him to go out there and do this, anyone who was skeptical of RJ around the league can look at what RJ did tonight and say, oh, okay, all right, I see you. That was real. That was a real thing. And up until now, I think there was enough skepticism about, well, is this a player capable of stepping up big time in the big moment? And now that question has been answered because he did it once, which is like, listen, it's one game, massive. And more importantly than that, and this is the point that I really want to make. NBA media people have spoken about this, and I'll just piggyback off of them. Everybody in the league sees how special this building is when it gets like this and how special it could be. Like if you're, and again, we're not doing off-season talk right now, but if you're anyone around the league and you're looking and you're thinking, my goodness, what would it be like if like I helped spearhead a finals run with that team? Tonight was pretty good evidence that it would be a lot of fun. That's all.
Which the only thing I'll add is that, speaking of someone who might have we're not doing off-season talk, but in a previous off-season, it's why if I had to get inside the brain of Donovan Mitchell and how he felt tonight watching that crowd, and how he and his team were the victims as they were villains inside that crowd, you have to wonder what was going on with him. I
don't really give a shit what's going on with him.
Me neither.
Busy. He is the absolute undoubted demigod of coaches. Hashtag Justin Tibbs. Hashtag don't question him. Yeah, Tibbs is a good coach. Adjusted. Good for him. Josh Arison. Cavs saw the trap, worked to great success in game 2, and then moved away from that tonight for no apparent reason. I don't get it. I think it was, look, this series is a chess match. If you're the Cavs and you trapped with great success in game 2, you had to know that the one thing that the Knicks were going to anticipate and game plan for was the trap in game 3. So then if you're JB Bickerstaff, you try to cut that off at the pass. Is that the right phrasing? And switch it up in a way that the Knicks are not anticipating. And I think that's kind of what they tried to do tonight. They didn't completely abandon the trap, but like it was more. I thought their defensive coverage like got softer as the game got more out of hand in the second half. But like I thought their defense was outstanding for most of the first half, and honestly, even in the third quarter, like it was not bad. Jalen Brunson made some really tough shots, but again, he had the opportunity to dribble into those tough shots, which speaks to what you're saying. So I'm not going to say I think you have something here, but there's also I think a reason, because I think the Knicks probably came in very much more prepared for that. Thanks, Josh. Hamdi M. Thank you for the generous contribution, Hamdi. At the game, it was insane. This is one of those ones where, like, part of me wished I was there. But also happy to be here with all of you. Robert Cross, hello, XJ. Great to see you here. I love the casuals. I'm a big fan. Hashtag 53 wins. I saw a tweet earlier today, Robert. You were complaining about the casual energy today. Don't run from your sins. Sam Garcia, what a response from the lads. Yes, what a response from the lads indeed. This team is a special team. Hayden Freed, Giancarlo, was that cute? Hashtag petty. Man.
Amazing. Giancarlo's getting a shout out when the Bucks after the Bucks just scored 100,000 points on the Heat in game 2.
You want to talk about, I mean, we talked about it on Patreon pod earlier today. You want to talk about a team coming up this small?
Yep.
This small.
Yep. It's your boy Pat Riley. It's your boy Jimmy Butler.
My boy Jimmy Butler.
Just saying, they're both have responsible for what has happened this season.
Are you allowed to do one super chat? Is there one coming up that you could do?
Sure. Ben Kim Gervey. Take that for statistics. You got to run.
I'll be in 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
John will be right back, everybody. Real quick. I'm going to read one from Frank from Patreon. What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. I've been talking. Oh, Frank, you of all people need to have a nice slice of crow pie. I've been baking an RJ crow pie since the first quarter that I'm about to eat with a large glass of milk. I have to give him his credit. They don't win without him. Thank you, Frank. I think we're all in that boat today. And that is why we let the games be played, because you might get an RJ Barrett game. You might get a guy that overcomes the adversity of what his whole season has been and shows you flashes of why there are still people that believe in him and why the people that get frustrated want him to be that guy. So shout out Frank from Patreon. I'll bring that back up again when Matt gets back. Sam Garcia with another, I should say. Also, shout out to RJ Barrett. He was great tonight. Agreed, Sam. I apologize that you have to be around so many Ohioans, but I hope you get to talk your shit tonight as well. Deadwords, I know I said John, but I told John I only do one, but I'm going to try and get ahead on these. Deadword 604, loved what I saw from IQ and RJ. If they have straightened themselves out even just a little bit, that's big. It will also soften the blow if Grimes is out or isn't going to be 100% going forward. Agree, Deadwords. This is where role players being better at home is a thing. And oh boy, did they play better at home. John, this was from Frank from Patreon earlier.
What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. I've been baking an RJ Crow pie since the first quarter. I'm about to eat with a large glass of milk. What pie do you eat with milk? I have to give him credit. They don't win without him. Again, you have now put me in the mood for pie, which is just not fair. If I thought the bodega down the block was open, I would run down and get one of those ghetto, the little apple pies, the double apple pies. The ones that are like coated in the glazed sugar.
Yes.
Those are so good. Anyway, Dylan Courier just was laughing uncontrollably.
Dylan took 10 seconds to laugh at the Cleveland Cavaliers. I appreciate that energy.
Still, Dylan. I would like it noted for the record, I still have a lot of respect for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
And I don't.
You know what we need? We need a stats update with the defensive rating rankings for the playoffs when you get a moment. Steven Cordero, I'm a paid subscriber and happy to pay for this. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it. After Begley and Lowe slapped back Macri's RJ hate on video, what? Macri doubles down and calls the youngest rotation Nick matching salary. Eat that crow. Steven.
You did do that, by the way. You did.
Oh, he definitely called him matching salary. But you have been an RJ supporter for a while now, and credit to you. Again, all the victory laps. My pushback is on Begley and Lowe slapping back. Lowe's point was very specific. Don't toss away a player who has shown the ability to score 20 points in an NBA game. That same Zach Lowe that went on a podcast this week was like, can RJ Barrett?
Steven, I don't think you want to use Zach Lowe as your ally here.
Yeah, it was like, have a good playoff game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the funny part about the victory lap is like, see, only you were wrong, Macri. It's like, there's a lot of people that get to be told I told you so right now.
But here's my crow almost fell. Here's the thing though, and this is what I think. It was Joe earlier. Oh, my crow's fall. I'm going to put the crow to the side for a sec. This is what I think Joe was alluding to earlier. There has never been any, maybe the Thibodeau stuff last year, but that's more, I don't know. There's different reasons for that. As far as a player is concerned, there's never been a player that I have been on such a different wavelength than the majority of the fan base than RJ Barrett, because really it was not from day one, but like from his the middle of his rookie year, where I was like, I just don't know what you all are seeing, and I wasn't necessarily bashful about that fact. And it's just it's always been there. It's always been. I've been on a different wavelength, so I think that's why people are taking the victory laps around me.
Listen. People take them tonight, and there's going to be more coming up. Don't worry. And I think the difference that I've seen from my perspective is like the Star J stuff that comes up. Which, like, if you want to call him Star J because the game ended minutes ago and you sent in a super chat, awesome. Like, he's Star J tonight. I think it was notable he took 12 shots. And remember that Heat game where he took 13, and Benji was like. Because there was clamoring for like, why didn't RJ take more shots? Like, we needed more RJ shots tonight. And Benji made the point that, like, I actually think the case that should be made, or the argument should be made, that it's not that he should shoot more to be productive. It's when he shoots less, he's more productive. And the way he was selective with his shot diet tonight and looked to pass and looked to get other guys involved. I cannot wait to rewatch the game film from this and see how many times he had a guy open. Maybe it's Julius and his 10 3-point attempts and just got nothing from his teammates, like the potential assist number. Because I think that number is high across the board for the Knicks.
And if I'm allowed to give myself a slight pat on the back, the thing that I've been calling for quite a long time now is for RJ to embrace the role of the third banana, as opposed to still like being the third banana, but playing the game of a first or second banana, because that's not what this team has needed, which is why my overarching feeling about him this year has been the guy that's rowing in the different direction. Everybody else slots in where they're supposed to be, and then RJ is kind of in his own little area. Tonight is like, this is exactly what you need to be. And again, he did it with 12 shots, and that is a testament to him in so many ways, and also proof that you can make a massive impact on an NBA game only taking 12 shots.
People on the podcast, you didn't see it, but I just fist pumped while Mac was talking. It's not because I was seconding or emphasizing what he said. While I do agree with your point, the Mets just won. That's all. It's a blue and orange night across the board. Baseball's so awesome now. This game took 2 hours and 23 minutes. Rob Manfred, this is the best thing you've ever done, making baseball fast.
Getting RJ shoutouts and Rob Manfred shoutouts. Talk about hell freezing over. Alex, what's going on, Alex? I listened to smart people like Macri, XJ, and Zulo and thought we had no chance to win this game, and RJ sucked and needed to be benched. I should have listened to the dum-dum like Robert Cross and had faith. Hashtag Crosshive. Hashtag 53 wins. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about how the Knicks turned around from what was, I know they didn't actually lose by 20 in game 2, but they turned around what was, for all intents and purposes, a blowout loss into a blowout win. And a lot of it really does just come down to your players playing well. And the scheme and the adjustments and the whole thing, like, that was important. But your players got to play well. The Knicks played well tonight. And the Cavs players, man, that, like, I'd be fascinated to be like a Cavs, be on like a Cavs, what are they, the spaces, right? Twitter spaces, to listen in on a Twitter spaces tonight, because like Darius Garland, his negative impact on this game early on was so overwhelming, and just, I mean, just night and day from the other. And like, if there's one reason why the game turned out to be differently, it was that. And I also, and Andrew just talked about, I really want to go rewatch the tape. The thing I really want to go rewatch the tape on is, again, the turnovers. And you want to talk about whether it's an adjustment from Tom Thibodeau or just a different sort of roster and guys know when to be opportunistic. The thing about Tibbs' defenses, which have historically been obviously very good, but from day one when he became head coach of the Bulls, they do not generate turnovers. They just don't. That's not something his defenses do. It's not something they've ever done. His defenses rely on being sound and steady as she goes and not gambling. And in Tibbs' mind, you, like, if you have to gamble for turnovers, they're not worth it. Well, tonight they generated 21 turnovers and got 28 points off of those turnovers. And that, to me, other than Darius Garland, was the biggest difference in the game from the other night, when they got some turnovers, but they were not able to generate points off those turnovers. And tonight they were. So those are what I want to go back and rewatch. I want to rewatch the turnovers more than anything. Hush Zoo, what's going on, Hush? Don't think either teams were ready for how crazy that arena was at the start. Nerves hit everyone. The difference between MSG and every arena in the world. Yeah. It's only one. It's the only one like it. Andrew Palladino, thank you for the generous contribution, Andrew. Let's go KFS. Game 2 left such a bad taste in my mouth. You and me both. Glad we got this game to get rid of that. The Knicks have all the momentum going forward. Just take care at home. And at the very worst, this team is winning a Game 7 in Cleveland. So, Sunday's big. You might say. Sunday's a big game. You know, if it does go, like, momentum is like, you know, what is it? The baseball saying, momentum is only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. Well, momentum in the NBA is only as good as, like, the next day's three-point shooting performance. And the Cavs could come out on Sunday and, you know, hit 17 threes and, you know, we're headed back to Cleveland tied at 2. That's just the way the league is now. If that's the case, like, I'm still comfortable if I'm a Knicks fan, because can they win Game 5? Yes. Can they lose Game 5 and win Game 6? Absolutely. Can they win Game 5, lose Game 6, and win Game 7? Absolutely. Like, this team is capable of all of those things. And I'll say it now. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think the series is going 7. That's all I'll say. Thanks, Andrew. Juanon, that was beautiful. On to Sunday. Salute KFS and fuck Reggie Miller. Only game we lost was he was the commentator. Keep him out of MSG. Yeah, I saw the video he posted earlier today, and I was trying to figure out where he was because he was definitely in Brooklyn somewhere. And I was trying to figure out where, if he was in Brooklyn Bridge Park, which is not far from where I live, or somewhere else. But I saw it, and I was like, get the hell out of my neighborhood, man. Oh, wow, that's so dope. Retweet this. RJ Barrett, Josh Hart had the New York symbol with his like braids on his head. That's really awesome. Thanks, Juanon. Appreciate the contribution as always. Roger Fortune, thank you for the generous contribution. Appreciate it. Robert Cross, there's my guy Mensa. Do you think the Knicks can win in 5? Thanks, I hung up and listened. What do you think he thinks? You and Mensa, man, your steadfast belief. Here's what we know. The Knicks are not going to lose in 5. We know that. Anthony Sixto, no matter how big, small, clean, ugly, we're going to need every ounce of what any player can contribute in this series. It has been as uneven as we've seen, but the culture and depth, shining. Hashtag ride with RJ. I love that comment, Anthony. I really appreciate it because it gets at the heart of what this team is. Culture, yes. Depth, yes. Uneven, yes. Think about the fact that the Knicks are up 2-1 right now. And here's what we've gotten in this series. And this is going to come off. People are going to hear this and going to be like, oh, the Knicks are going to win the series, clearly. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Because this is a defensive struggle. And the notion that it's like, oh, well, clearly 2 of these 3 or, 3 of these 5 players will show up in this game. Like, can't count on anybody with this defense and like how this series has gone. But all that being said, Julius Randle, we have gotten one good half out of 6 from Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson has been the most steady performer. And as the most steady performer, we've gotten, I would say, 2.5 out of 6 good halves from Jalen Brunson. 2.5 out of 6. It's less than 50%. RJ. I mean, he played well enough in the second half, but he didn't need to do much. We've gotten one huge RJ half. One huge RJ half. Again, he was very good in the second half, but he just didn't need to do as much. 1 out of 6. Those are your quote-unquote top 3. Really, though, we know Immanuel Quickley has taken over. Immanuel Quickley tonight, we sit here and we'll praise his game. Had a very nice game. He scored 11 points on 6 shots. Excellent defense, but 11 points on 6 shots. Do we feel like that's the Immanuel Quickley game that we're going to get? I don't. So, like, meat on the bone there. And then those are your top 4 offensive. We haven't gotten anything from Quentin Grimes in this series. Nothing. Defensively, we've gotten some stuff from Quentin Grimes, but offensively, we haven't gotten anything from Quentin Grimes. And I've just named your top 5 offense, like the guys, top 5 guys you feature on offense. And the percentage of like how many good halves have we gotten from these players? If you add them all up and then divide by the total, is it like 30%, 25, 30? So to bring it back to your comment, Anthony, it has been as uneven as we've seen, incredibly uneven. And that is, I think, an encouraging sign for me, as opposed to discouraging, because they're finding ways to win. Dom Cappuccini, I hope there is a Grimes sighting for Game 4. Me too. If not, then we really need RJ and Quick to torch the 3. Thanks for the confidence in the last Patreon GMAC. GMAC is great for confidence. If no Grimes, they're going to start hard again, because they're going to need the defense on Donovan Mitchell. They need a defender. And that changes. I do think that changes their offense a little bit, because then the notion that you're trying to get kickouts, like you're not game planning for kickouts to Hart. Now, if you do kick out to Hart, he could do a lot with that. He could drive. He's a wonderful driver with the basketball. He's a wonderful passer when he gets into into driving lanes. Off the bench, if there's no Grimes, you have, you have Quickly. Quickly as your backup wing. I wonder if there was no Grimes, would we finally get the Deuce minutes? Maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Deuce minutes. I think we might. In the first half, at least. Eric Fernandez. John, you may give the game ball to Brunson. You may want Hart. You may even say Crowan. But it belongs to MSG. Garland and co. were terrified. Completely agree they get the game ball. Well said, Eric. Appreciate that. Bernard Richardson. Why hold back? These playoff wins are rare and definitely not guaranteed. Being a rational fan for what, if not now, when? Jump out the window, John. I feel great about this team. I do love this team. I'm very high on this team. Jumping out the window to me basically is me sitting here and being like, that's it. We got it. We got this series. And I can't go there yet. I can't go there yet. I feel good about it. I feel like sitting here today, if you ask me, are the Knicks going to win this series? It's still close in my mind, but I think
Bernard, how's this? John, I respect you trying to be rational and respect the Cavs. I'm the guy that said they'd split this weekend, so I currently have them losing on Sunday. But how about this? I jumped out for you. It's a pretty big window, okay? Knicks in 5, baby. We got this, Bernard. Don't worry. Cleveland's going to go back to their swing state, and they're just going to go back to not mattering. And then in 2 years, Donovan Mitchell is going to do the thing that a lot of people do when they play basketball in Cleveland. He's going to leave and come play with us. There you go.
I still think the Knicks will have to win a Game 7 on the road. I hope I'm wrong, but I think they could do it. Parrish Duggar, F that track because Brunson can do puzzles all day. I like that. That's good. Thank you, Parrish. F that trap. F that trap. That's a good name for something. Danny S. Hashtag Tibbs built. Nice to compliment the coach on a night like tonight. Congratulations, seventh place coach of the year finish. Steve S. Thank you so much for the generous contribution, Steve. We appreciate you here at Knicks Film School. What a win. RJ Barrett, legacy game. Hashtag IQ robbed of 6th man of the year. Yeah, we did the emergency live stream last night. Completely agree. He was robbed. As far as RJ Barrett legacy game, I think if you're a true RJ stan, this is not the legacy game. This is the beginning. This is the first of many. Because the hope, I think, if you're an RJ stan, has to be that this is like step 1 of solidifying that the Knicks are going to hold on to RJ this offseason, and that this is going to be the first of many important playoff games that he plays in a Knick uniform. I think that has to be the hope. Chris Infante, what's going on, Chris? Weirdly passive second half, especially from Mitchell. I think the Knicks did something on defense to affect him, or do you think the Knicks did something on defense to affect him? The Brunson Starks dab gave me life, by the way. That was great for all of us old heads. I think Donovan Mitchell was trying to make the right play. I think Donovan Mitchell was trying not to force it. Mitchell still took, 19 shots? Yeah, he took 19 shots, which is the second most of any player in this game after Darius Garland was 4 of 21, and Garland he had the looks in the first half, and a lot of those shots were early on. I don't know that I would describe Donovan Mitchell as passive. He was not as aggressive as he could be. And I suspect if the game is close on Sunday, and I think it will be, we will be getting a different version of Donovan Mitchell. That's what I'll say. John Reynolds, I'm just very happy. Thank you for the contribution, John, and I appreciate that sentiment. Rob Delusma, we root for a damn good basketball team, you bunch of fanatic or fantastic Knicks fans. We do root for a very good basketball team. And, Andrew, you want to come up here for a sec?
Sure, what's up?
You didn't do the thing, so I'm going to do the thing.
You do the thing.
You want to read the next comment?
Sure. Sam Garcia's dad. Say his name. Say his name. Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr. # more Mensa. Hell yeah.
I love that you read the comment like that. All right, yeah, here we go. So the Knicks have the best defense in the playoffs. That should surprise nobody. They are giving up 100.7 points per 100 possessions. The second best defense in the playoffs, of course, belongs to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
The Cavs, yeah. Nobody's scoring in this series. Every other series, people are scoring points, except this one.
102.5. So, yeah, I don't know if that says anything. But, like, no, it does say something because the Cavs are the best defense in the league this season. So they should be up there. And this is where you give credit to Tibbs. The Knicks defense finished the year ranked 20th. Now, that sounds worse than it is because there was a group of about 10 teams right in the middle of the league in terms of the defensive rating rankings that were within like a point per 100 possessions of each other. So not huge variance. But we wondered whether the Knicks would have a defensive ceiling in them that they hadn't really showed this year. I think, or that hadn't showed often this year. I think that's proven itself out.
Knicks are also 7th in net rating for the postseason.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully they
15th in offense.
Is that good?
Well, guess who's 16th, John?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Robert Cross with another one. Legend of GMAC. There we go. Great programming move, letting Mensa cook. Knicks in 5. # 53 wins.
I'm happy that Mensa got the chance to do that. Shout out to the casual crew. Shout out to our entire KFS staff. Yeah, this was a team performance across the board for all of us up here.
I'm happy we got Mensa up here. I was thinking at the top of the show, I'm like, man, it's like ironically appropriate that it's me and XJ, but I was like, man, I wish we had Mensa here. And we got him. David Crockett. Mensa gave me life tonight. Just wonderful. Yes. Cosign. Thank you, man. David, shout out to David. He always is in our halftime Zooms, which I do for the Knicks Film School newsletter subscribers. Shameless plugs. Sign up for the Knicks Film School newsletter. He always has such insightful comments during our halftime Zooms in our chat. So shout out to you, David, for that. Luke Stone. I like the adjustment for this game to let Brunson guard Garland. We haven't talked about it once. We're almost 2 hours into this thing. Excellent job by you bringing that up. I'm going to get back to that in a second. It wasn't fair to expect Barrett to defend Garland one-on-one and not get cooked. I said it in today. Speaking of the newsletter, I said it in today's newsletter. I'm not saying you want to you welcome that matchup in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of a close game, but at some point in this series, you had to challenge Jalen Brunson. Meaning the Knicks had to Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff had to challenge Jalen Brunson. Like, dude, hold your own. Hold your own. Sometimes, in certain matchups. And the fact that they allowed Jalen Brunson to try to hold his own tonight, again, don't do it against Donovan Mitchell. Ideally. Mitchell's a special offensive player. Garland's a very, very good offensive player. He had an excellent season. In a different year with like a different narrative, he would have been in the All-Star conversation much more prominently. But I loved the fact that they tried to, or that they gave Brunson an opportunity to match up against Garland tonight. Excellent point by you, Luke. Thank you for bringing that up. Hush Zoo. For my mental sanity, I need the Knicks to win in 5. I can't keep going with this in-game roller coaster of emotions. I'm so exhausted, but let's freaking go Knicks. So my lovely wife Dolores tonight, they were up by, I think it was the basket that put them up by 24. I'm going to look this up because this is important to get this right because it'll show the depths of my insanity. Yeah, they were up by 24 in the fourth quarter with 4:03 to go. Josh Hart hit a 3 off an RJ assist. Made it 94-70. At that moment, my wife looks at me and she's like, it's a 24-point lead. There's 4 minutes to go. Can you relax now? Can we at least acknowledge that they're going to win? And I was like, I'm almost there. I'm so close. Oh, man. Talk about a soundbite. Out of context.
Man.
I'm so close.
Did you get there? So you eventually came? Is what you're saying? Oh, whoa! Now we're going places.
You just took all the subtlety and you threw it out.
I know. There you go. Hi, Dad. Next up, Robert Cross. It's your boy John. Do you know the fable of the tortoise and the hare? Broadway Barrett in all caps.
I know the tortoise eventually got there.
Yeah.
Broadway Barrett # 53 wins. Yes, very good. Excellent job. CD win. Is this CD or is this oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. All I do is win.
That's DJ Khaled / T-Pain. Wedding playlist song, by the way.
Good song. I like that.
Yes.
Song. Ja, so focus. What's going on, Ja? At a bar right now. Good job by you. I wish I was with you. But just came here to say, let's freaking go. All you RJ haters better not be saying anything tonight. I mean, God, what would they be saying? Keep quiet. It's the Knicks, baby. 2 down, 2 to go. We deserve this. Yeah. Yes, we do. We definitely do deserve this. Man, would I love to get to the second round with this team and face the Bucks. I'm not getting ahead of myself yet, but like
Knicks in 6. I'll do it.
That Bucks team is
injured.
For them to do what they did without Giannis.
Yeah, they did it against the washed, awful Miami Heat team. So when they play us, a disciplined team that's well coached, and now an ignited RJ Barrett. When Julius sees Giannis, he sees food.
I will say, if they can win this series, which I think we're a long way away from that, and they go play the Bucks, you want to talk about a confident team that would feel like they're playing with house money?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be excited to see what that version of the Knicks look like for what it's worth.
Yep. And then we'll beat the Celtics because we beat the Celtics all season. IQ can get his revenge for sixth man. And then do you want to face Phoenix? And it's KD. We finally exercise those demons. Do you want to face the Lakers? And it's a rematch of, it'd be a rematch of the 70 finals in honor of Willis Reed. That'd actually be nice. Okay. I think that's what I want. Officially.
Great. Excellent job. Bernard Richardson.
You hate this so much. I can see it.
79. I'm like, just get me to a game 7. 79 points, including garbage time. We couldn't shoot either last game, but under 80 is notable. Knicks elite defense tonight. I don't think you could play better defense on the Cavs than the Knicks played tonight.
Yep. Made their bench a non-factor. Like, I agree with you. The top heaviness of the Cavs is what scares me. Their bench is officially a non-factor.
There were a couple of moments where I thought Mitch played great, but there were a couple of moments where Mitch in particular jumped, I thought, where he didn't need to, and it ended up in Mobley getting some easy looks down low when the ball pinged around. Think that happened on an offensive rebound as well, but like you could count the defensive possessions that were not exemplary, textbook in every way. You could count them on like one hand.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, the whole Evan Mobley offensive scare, he's 31 points in this series.
I know. I thought he was good tonight, and yet all I want them to do is continue going back to him because it takes the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands.
Very true.
Yeah. Really, anybody other than Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. Buzzer beater. RJ is the greatest black man since Harry Belafonte.
No comment.
Who am I to disagree? Anthony Six, though. Thank you for another generous contribution here, Anthony. I love the ease, quickness Brunson switches up his paint attack from a flurry of jitters to decisive, simpler moves, adapting the defense film study. I don't want to go too over the see. Everybody's going over the top on Barrett tonight.
I was waiting for Tibbs praise this whole stream, to be honest. This team was so ready for this game.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that.
Oh, where are you going?
I was going Brunson.
Oh, well, you had it there first half. The first half of the pod where it was like he was not able to hit shots, and then he got it going. That second half, they won because of Jalen Brunson.
Like, so everybody here watching this right now thinks the Knicks are going to win the series, right?
Yes.
Or a lot of them do.
Mm-hmm.
With all due respect to Rowan and Crowan, is there much doubt that if we win this series, Jalen Brunson will be the best player at the end of the day when all is said and done?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Like, go look at the list of guys you go back the last 5-10 years who are the best player in series that they win. Best player in a series that the team wins. And you might find an exception or two of guys that don't one is not like the other. You want to go back to Isaiah Thomas with the Celtics, a couple of years ago, but there was an injury thing there. You're not going to have many outliers where it's that guy doesn't really belong with these other. If you're the best player on a team that could win a freaking playoff series, man, you're in a certain caliber of NBA player. And Jalen Brunson, he's just put himself there. So, yeah. Kevin Nanashevsky. Emmanuel quickly. Andy Larson, this game was for you. Greg Anthony, I hope you enjoyed it. BS, your Celtics can't beat a poverty franchise. Suck it.
Oh, jeez.
I obviously didn't watch the end of that game because it was on during the Knicks game, but I guess are we rooting for Atlanta now to make that a series? I don't know.
Well, you want to tire out the Celtics, so they have to play 7 games. So when we face them in the conference finals, they've gone through multiple tough matchups.
I'm excited for Boston, Philly. I'll say that.
I am too.
I think it'll be a good series.
Yeah. Just as a basketball fan, to evenly matched teams. Their games this year have been outstanding too.
Yep.
So
completely. I struggled with this the other night. Adebombo, Adejobi. Scale of 1 to 10. How bad is Cat's D Wade over RJ take?
Yeah. Dean Wade has not played a meaningful minute in this series yet.
In fairness to me, I called him out on it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of retracted it in the moment, but yeah.
Not looking great there, Mr. Schatz.
It's a 9.5.
And then the reason I stayed up here, this one's for me. So
Henry Francis, you want to read it?
So Henry Francis, you are technically in a group chat with him because he will also be part of my wedding. I've known Henry since I was in 9th grade, and I will let you all in on an inside joke. His thing in my regular friend group chat is he just jumps in every chance he get when the Mets are on and we're talking about the Mets. He goes, Mets are in trouble. The Mets are 14-7 and are currently 6-7-1 on this current road trip they're on. They're actually not in trouble, but his whole thing just to get under Mets fan skin is Mets are in trouble. So here is Henry's super chat. In all caps, the Mets are in trouble. The Jets are in trouble. The Knicks aren't in trouble. Shout out to the producer, Andrew, a.k.a. Claudio, and his pregame convo with RJ, which led to greatness. Henry, I gotta be honest, it wasn't me. It was your mom. When we were done, she went and talked to RJ and made sure that he was ready for the game. And you know how much her magic can work wonders. So
can I just that gave me a chance to look up the box score real quick.
Yeah, shout out Henry, love you, buddy.
2 quick box score things. Because we haven't heaped enough praise on RJ already tonight. RJ had 8 rebounds tonight, and a few of them were noticeable in terms of his tenacity going after the board. Great job by him there. Also, do you know who had 4 steals tonight?
Who?
Obi Toppin.
Yeah. That second unit was amazing tonight.
4 steals in 15 minutes. I wonder how many of those came in garbage time, but like, man.
Yeah.
Diesel waiting for negative Knicks fans to start complaining Derrick Rose didn't have his legs on his jumper in the 4th because Tibbs overplayed him back in 2011.
That's amazing, the super chat. That was funny. Wow, that was funny.
Shout out D Rose Hive. Kevin Danishevsky, did any moment top the alley-oop to Toppin tonight? To me, the moment of the game is just very clearly RJ's first 3. It is so far and away the moment of the game. For me, it's the moment of the playoffs other than the Hart 3 in game 1. RJ's 3 that he made on his first attempt, I can't put into, there's no way I could put into words how massive that felt in the moment. But, to each their own. Keith, what's going on, Keith? I'm here and I lost my voice in the damn second quarter. Good job by you. Atmosphere was insane. No place in the world like MSG. Let's freaking go. Knicks and shouts to KFS. Thank you. Appreciate you, Keith. Glad you were there in the building. That's awesome. Dean Sumo, where are all the RJ haters at now? They're eating the crow. Knife, fork, chopsticks, soup spoon. Any even with your hands. You could go Leonardo DiCaprio style in The Revenant. Just get right up in there and just gobble it up. Whatever it takes. Dom Cappuccini. Hart styled his braids into New York on the top of his head. Yes. Loved that. Vibes of Mace with the Knicks logo on his dome. This kid ain't going anywhere, man. No. And Josh Hart, and I'm so happy you made that comparison. I think Anthony Mason is the comparison for Josh Hart. Not in terms of game necessarily, although their games aren't that dissimilar if you really get down to it. But in terms of impact and just how they go about their business on the court and guys that were made to play in New York. Now, of course, Anthony Mason's from New York, so that contributed to it. But, yeah, Josh Hart, I hope he's a Knick for life, or at the very least for the rest of the prime of his career. Missing piece, final piece to this team. I don't, that we may not have a championship core quite yet, but we're going to look back on that trade for a long time. Long time. Robert Ryan, what's going on, Robert? The last time the Cavs won a playoff game against the Knicks at MSG, there was no home internet and DVDs didn't exist yet. Now I'm wondering, when was it? Because they played twice in the 90s. I didn't think the Cavs won a game at MSG during those playoff series, and now you're making me think that they did. Maybe they took one game during one of those series, which bad job by me that I can't remember that. But yeah, it's been a while. Ryan Nelson, what's going on, Ryan? Brunson looks like he's playing through some type of injury. Still a highly solid game from him. Cooking Allen on the break was spectacular. I don't know. Am I missing something? I don't get the same sense. He looked quite healthy tonight. I don't know. Yeah, no, I agree to disagree there, Ryan. But I'll go back and I'll take a look and see if I can spot something. But I don't think I see the same thing. Paul Morrison, getting the ball out of Garland's and Mitchell's hands is what's going to win us the series. Force LeVert to score and the bigs to make decisions. Yeah, I mean, LeVert's scary, as he showed during the third quarter tonight. He's a guy who's averaged 20 points a game in an NBA season before. Let him beat you. Please let him beat you. And let him beat you and let the bigs beat you. But here's the thing. Let the bigs beat you by going to work. Not ping, 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 ping. Mobley for an uncontested dunk or Jared Allen for an uncontested dunk. That's not how you want to let the bigs beat you, because really the bigs aren't beating you there. The guards are beating you. You are compromising your defense to guard the guards to the point where you are eventually giving up shots that are not. There's no skill involved in the shots for the bigs that are taking them in that instance. You cannot compromise your defense to that extent, which is why it's so difficult, because those guards will make you compromise your defense quite a bit. But again, they're a thin team they're top heavy. So, make them work. Make them work. Thanks, Paul.
So to close the loop, the last time the Cavaliers beat the Knicks at MSG.
I was just about to look this up.
I got it for you. Shout out.
What is it? When is it?
It's in April 29th to 1995 in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Knicks were the 3 seed. The Cavs were the 6 seed. The Knicks lost game 2 of that series at home, 90-84. So it was
and then they won the next two.
The next 2 in Cleveland, because the first round back then was a best of 5.
Yes.
So Patrick Ewing had 21 points. John Starks had 21 points. Charles Oakley.
95?
That was 95. April 29th, 1995. Because Knicks were the 3 seed that year.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember how much hand wringing I did at that loss. That's finger roll year.
Yes, that is.
And 8 points in 8.9 seconds.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Again, fuck Reggie Miller.
Yes. Agreed. Gino B. Hey, John. Been listening from San Diego since the Enes Kanter days. Oh, my God. Just wanted to thank you and the KFS crew for connecting the global network of Knicks fans. You guys are phenomenal at what you do. Well, thank you, Gino. On a night when I'm probably on the dartboard for a lot of Knicks fans for my takes about RJ over the years. I appreciate you taking the time, and it's been a dream come true to be able to be in a position where I'm sitting here and it's after 1 a.m. and I'm talking about a Knicks playoff game to people all over the world and all over the country, and it's what a fan base that has given all of us here at Knicks Film School this opportunity. Can't say it enough. Will Oliver, what's going on, Will? Just when everyone's out on RJ, he pulls you back in. Yes, RJ Barrett as Michael Corleone in, what's the name of this movie? We back. Shout out to our playoff merchandise. Make sure you click on the link in the description below to order yours today. I know you like that one, Andrew.
Proud of you.
Emil Bumansor, I told you we were overachieving. 1 game is 1 game. Good win. Welcome to the party, RJ. Overreacting. Sorry, not overachieving. Overreacting. Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're going to have some more swings in this series. That's just how I feel. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Knicks come out on Sunday and in maybe a closer game, they take care of business. I completely agree with XJ. If they win on Sunday, the series is over. Totally agree with that. Harry Donor, thank you for the generous contribution. As always, you've made so many generous contributions over the years. And we appreciate you. Thank you, man. Dom Cappuccini, not buying the Okoro lockdown hype. Good night, all. Yeah, you're not stopping Jalen Brunson with one guy. You're just not. You can't. He's too good. He's too skilled. He's too special. Certainly not Isaac Okoro. Bernard Richardson with another one. Thank you, Bernard, for all the generosity tonight. We keep getting told this team is better than us, yet all we do is beat them over and over and over all year long. We hear tonight, Macri. Well, I'm the one, maybe not as much publicly, but certainly in private, telling people, anyone who's willing to listen, that I think the Cavs are the better team. I'm not going to run from the fact that I have said that. My default as an observer of this sport is to trust what I have seen over a long time. And what I have seen over a long time is if you have a higher seeded team and that higher seeded team has the best player in the series, and I'm sorry, with all due respect to Jalen Brunson, I still think Donovan Mitchell is the best player in the series, maybe by a hair, but I think it's Donovan Mitchell. And you have other really good players, and I do think the Cavs have other really good players. And one last thing, and this is the part I guess that I'll maybe went too far in the wrong direction with, where I was like, this is a bad matchup. And it's a bad matchup because of personnel. And it's a bad matchup because of personnel, because we didn't have that one, and I've said this before, we didn't have that one big defensive wing, and we didn't have that one big wing to take advantage of their defensive issues. Well, tonight we did have the big wing to take advantage of their defensive issues with that they have all these small guards. And also probably not properly accounting for the fact that even with the fact that they have the capability to defend us well, Jalen Brunson is a top 15 offensive player in the NBA. And this is a really skilled league. And if you have one of the best 15 guys on that side of the ball, it doesn't matter what you do defensively. You're going to give up points. And Jalen Brunson, and we didn't praise that. We praised RJ Barrett's passing. We should also praise Jalen Brunson's passing, because when he got it going and there was a pass to be made, he made the pass. Maybe not every time, but a lot of the time, especially after he got himself going. So I still have a lot of respect for Cleveland. They're a really good team. I think they'll come back. I do not think they will go down with a whimper, but I do think depth is an issue for them, and you can score on them. You could score on them. You could absolutely score on them. I think they will be tougher to stop than score on. Jibo, how about we not send the 22-year-old to China? Thank you, RJ. Yeah, well, all of that stuff was very ridiculous. Thanks, Jibo. Jason Feldman started Jalen Brunson on Garland, and it worked. Scotch time. Got my Let's Go Knicks on one side. Scotch it up on the other side. One of my favorite gifts my wife has ever given me. Yanni Golan, these videos of Knicks fans celebrating in the streets are crazy. I haven't seen one yet. I'll watch them tomorrow because I'm going to, I think, do a little writing tonight before I go to bed, but I will watch them at some point. Jibo with another one. Mitch, Evan Fournier, and the Mavs pick for KP. Why are we doing this tonight?
The Knicks just won a home playoff game, and we're trading Mitch and picks for Porzingis?
Keep the dingus in Washington. Bopped you. John, say it with me. It's a parade inside my city. Yeah. Hell of a game. Let's get two more and close those bums out.
Nailed it.
Did I nail it?
There's some bumbleclack going on there. So
what is It's a Parade Inside My
so
City?
Ja Morant has a thing he does where he goes, "It's a parade inside my city." Yeah, I believe it's from a song. People in the chat, please let me know. That's how I know it. I do not think that
we need to get to the bottom of this.
Oh wow, we're going deep dives here. I'll get the next super chat up. Oh, what's it? Richie V, the Debbie Downer. Oh, John. Oh, you got it.
Richie V. Hey, Macri, not to be the Debbie Downer here, but in 8 career playoff games, Julius is now shooting 31% from the field. How concerned are you? Concerned, and I appreciate the fact that you bring it up. Julius played well tonight, but when you are, and if this is the praise, this is the criticism I've levied of RJ Barrett, where your role on the team matters. I've criticized RJ Barrett over the top and in a way that I've not criticized like Emmanuel Quickly, because RJ's role on the team is as a scorer. And when one of the scorers on the team cannot score, that is a problem. Julius Randle, got to score, dude. That's your role on this team, because you could try your ass off on defense and you could really, get dirty under the boards and the whole thing. He also missed the box out or two, but for the most part, he played excellent defense. You got to score. That's your role on this team. That's why you're here. I don't want to say I'm worried. It would do a lot for me to see a Julius game. I think actually, this may be a bold statement for this team moving forward, and like for their ease of operating. I don't know if that's going to make any sense this summer, and for their comfort level of moving forward with the general core of this team. I think they need to see a good Julius game in these playoffs. I don't think it's a if. I think they have to. So yeah. I have this song up. It's a Parade Inside My City. It's by an NBA Youngboy.
So reverse that. It's Youngboy Never Broke Again. So NBA Youngboy. It's called Fresh Prince of Utah, as you said. But the U is an L and an I, so it's like Litah. Yeah.
I'm looking at the lyrics.
Don't read them out loud, at least. But yes, that is from that song. And I guess Ja Morant is
It's a Parade Inside My City. Yeah, ass shaking.
Yeah, John. Let's not read the lyrics to the rap song on the live broadcast.
Ain't no
Ron Burgundy
county product of the feds.
Thank you, Richie V, for the comment. I hope Julius Randle.
We just finished the first verse. Flat green, the cutter's red.
There is a line. I'm just asking you to proceed with caution.
I don't know what that means. Now watch. I cut him like Share Honda, like the car.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm in this bitch. Who want me dead? Well, who would want?
NBA Youngboy. We don't wish that on you. We like young people. We like the NBA. We don't want anybody to die.
I put this hoe inside the trench.
Okay. Then we read the next super chat on the screen.
Ryan Eggers. Kobe once scored more than 13 Cavs combined did tonight. Thank you for pointing that out.
Hi, cuz. That was an experience.
I want to go back to that song and see. He seems like he really has something to say.
Jonathan.
Logan Bartlett. Nothing but love for my president, Jonathan Macri.
Oh God. I thank you, Logan.
What is happening? What's a Roxy?
I don't know. I will look it up and you look at the screen.
Whatever they are, they could be dirty, apparently. Yoni Golan. The key to the rest of the series is, will RJ give more good games or bad games the rest of the way, especially now with Grimes maybe out a few games? Is RJ the key to the rest of the series? That's a good question. I don't think it needs to be RJ. I think they just need one supporting piece to come up big. and Brunson to come up big, or Brunson or Julius to come up big, it's probably going to be Brunson, and then just like play their style, play their defense. It is kind of incredible tonight that we're talking about a 20-point victory when they got outsized performances, or two outsized individual performances from Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett. And one of those outsized performances came on 12 shots. That is a testament to them as a team and the MSG crowd. Steven Santiago. Felt like mid-90s NBA, and I was a teenager again tonight. I loved every minute. It did feel like that, didn't it? Thank you guys for your excellent coverage. Thanks for watching. I'll be rocking my Knicks Film School t-shirt for Sunday's game at the Garden. That's
awesome. That's awesome.
Cool.
Jeremy said that he saw a Big 15 t-shirt tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, everybody who buys merch and represents it out there.
Yeah. Johnny Chiba. I love great defense and ball movement. Pause. Hashtag free Obi. Hashtag KOC.
Read it again. He loves great what? Hi, Mr. Robinson. Well, he says pause.
Riding the D train.
He's clearly saying that you love great D. So.
I bet if I kept reading those lyrics, I would find something about
we have one more super chat, and then I'm going to go make sure we're still in operation in the morning.
What did I do wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong yet. If you kept reading the lyrics, there was John. Look at the screen. Look.
Robert Ryan can't get enough Josh Hart. His shot selection since joining the Knicks has been insane.
Yes, thank you, Robert Ryan. I love Josh Hart too. Oh, look, the closing banner that says to sign off.
I'm not going to read those words.
I know, John. I'm just hoping that Ron Burgundy didn't just read something because it was on the screen.
Man, this person. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. If you're listening, please give a 5-star rating and review. Let's freaking go Knicks.
Freaking go Knicks, baby. There's a parade inside my city. Yeah. Eat shit.
Can I say one last thing?
What?
Last thing. Very last thing. This night was built up so much over the last few days in the media, nationally, by the local media, all the quotes that came out and sound bites and things with it's going to Donovan Mitchell, right, called it was going to be chaos. And I was looking at Twitter all day today, and fans just getting so over the top excited for the environment tonight and what this game meant. And I know we had the game 1 2 years ago, right? And that was a big game. This felt a little bit different. That was more pandemic related to me. It was like we were coming off of this really difficult time over these 2 years, and to have a Knicks playoff game right in the Garden and the whole thing, and people still talk about how insane that game 1 atmosphere was. This felt different. This felt more pure basketball related about the atmosphere at the Garden with this team, with what they've been able to accomplish in this moment. All of that was there, and this is going to sound messed up. The failure in that scenario would have been so spectacular as to be really disheartening and difficult to come back from, and just not good. And not for them to come out and do what they did tonight is, we have spoken about this team's character and heart and integrity and just their just general makeup so many times over the course of the year. For them to come out and do what they did tonight with all of that as the backdrop, just take a bow. All of them collectively take a bow. An incredible performance with that stage, on that stage. I just wanted to say that before we got out of here. That's all.
Cosign. Well said. Let's do it again on Sunday.
That would be nice. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.